All right, I think we're live. Say something.
Hello, hi.
There we go. So, hello everyone. Welcome to round 2 of Down Back to Blockcast, which is a Mortal Kombat reference, in case anyone doesn't know, which was... Now, I don't know if you knew this too. Oh, by the way, everyone, this is Bev. He is one of the kick-ass dudes for SRKade, which allows us to play old fighting games, or I guess any game in general, but fighting games especially, online through the wonderful power of emulation. So, yes, welcome.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, in the background, we're not having cameras on today because, you know, sometimes we've got to let other people take the spotlight. We're just too pretty, you know. You'll see on... You'll see, yeah, we'll try. We'll see on the screen. So this is this dude's channel, right? And these videos that you're going to be watching while we're talking are all going to be him, like his matches that he's actually played online with these games, which, as you can see, is Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. So what do you... you can say whatever you want, man, but basically, do you want to tell folk, you know, what it is and you know, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are SRKade. We are a fighting game community. We aim to be sort of well, mainly it's just the goal is to make fighting games and online play for these fighting games as easily accessible and downloaders play friendly as possible. That's really it, you know, quite simple. But we also try and offer, you know, a community in which to, you know, meet people like yourself, to you know, really get stuck in, make some new friends, and play some of these kick-ass fighting games online, you know.
But better fighting games than, yeah. So but I love the old fighting games, dude. So I guess, like, probably the easiest question I can ask is, like, how would one go about doing this? Like, how would one go about getting access to being able to get online and partake? So.
Yeah. I mean, when new people come into our Discord, we like to welcome them, give them a couple of pointers. We have a, you know, on the sidebar in Discord, you'll see, like, we have, you know, more channels, and the list is only getting bigger, but right at the top you'll find a huge section called setup guides, and in these setup guides, like I said, I've tried to make it really simple. Anyone can follow these tutorials, so, you know, I'll get started on these tutorials with the download package. So it's, you know, these emulators and these games are more or less already set up. Like, you know, me and my team have more or less done the dirty work. We've spent a lot of time, you know, getting certain versions of these games and getting them set up and configured the best way possible. And then, like I said, I've taken some screenshots and I've got some text there, and really it's just to teach people how to navigate these menus and these things, because I think sometimes new people who maybe aren't, you know, really familiar with emulation, or, you know, this is like their first time with emulation, it might be a little bit intimidating, and they might not understand, and, you know, these text boxes and these things might be a little scary looking. So we just try and make it really friendly and easy and approachable. You know, like I try and say to people, you know, it's download and play. You come here, you come to our group, it's download and play. All you need to do is just take 2 to 5 minutes to read our setup guide, just so you know how to navigate the menu, configure your controller, and go online. And if you want to, as a bonus, you can change the visuals, clean the game up a little bit. It's completely optional, but yeah, just really, really, really about being plug and play and easy to get into. Yeah, so that's really what we do.
Now, what was the first? Because I'm just watching this on screen, right? So this is a Deadly Alliance one, a Fatal Bonbon versus yourself, and it just sort of occurred to me, what was the very first game through your setup that you actually tried and was successful with?
Oh, right. Good question. I mean, we've been going for quite, well, I say quite a while. It's more like a little blip in time, but I started this Discord server about 2 years ago, and before that, I was running the 3D MK Classic server. But as for the server that we're on at the minute, I would probably say, bearing in mind we went under a different name and we played different games, I reckon the first game we played was probably Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And then we started doing Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition. So yeah, probably Marvel 2 we did. And that was about 2 years ago.
Was that DC, like the Dreamcast?
Oh no, no, we didn't. We were originally a PS2 server, and
okay,
we only ran 5 games.
Yep.
We only ran five PS2 games, and then eventually later Dreamcast came, and we figured that out. This was way before DC rollback was a thing, so it was all delay based. But no, yeah, it was definitely Marvel 2 on the PS2, and then eventually when we rebranded to SRKade, that's when the DC stuff came in.
Yep. Okay. And like that would have been so cool, man. Just like I know what it's like when you're sort of, when you're trying to set up gaming or even at home, like because we've got a few computers at home, and you want to set up a game and have like family and friends and whatnot connect when they're over, and you finally see them show up in that lobby or show up on whatnot. That's always really cool. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can recall. It's actually really, really cool that you got DA playing right now. But it's a good time to bring it up. But when we came out, it might come up in rotation here. But when I came out and did the MK Classics collection, as I branded it, and I made a whole trailer for it. The reaction and the response that we got at the time for bringing 3D MK back to the people, if you like, online was huge. Twitter went absolutely nuts for it. There was like a couple hundred likes and retweets at the time, and so many people were getting really, really excited. Like, wow, we can play Deadly Alliance online for the first time, and we can play Deception online for the first time, and Armageddon as well. And yeah, even whether it was people for the first time or people that had played on the original servers on the PS2 and Xbox, just the fact that now it was easily accessible and it was easy to get back into, and play, because this was before we started doing Dolphins, so this was the original authentic PS2 2004 GameSpy experience.
Yep.
GameSpy. It was yeah.
Wow.
So it was the blast from the past, but it was the exact same menu system, the exact same lobby system that you would have been doing back in 2004 when it was online for the first time. So people were really excited to be able to experience, the original authentic lobby system and netcode.
Yeah. Okay, so sort of a couple of follow-up questions with that. So, do any of the packages that you have, do some of them have games, do none of them have games, and the ones that do not have games, do people, obviously, like, no doubt, I'm assuming people will have to source them themselves, correct?
Yeah. I mean, we definitely do encourage people to try and find things themselves. I mean, it's not too hard to do. I think anyone with Google can do it. There was also a point in time where we certainly encouraged people to rip their PS2 games. they're just DVDs and they're like cheap as chips. So like anyone can do it. But I mean, our audience for the longest time, and even now, our audience, even though we're a UK-based group and Discord, most of the audience is American. So we have, and also we just so happen to play the American versions of these games. So for American players, they already have these games. Probably sitting around at the back of the cupboard or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. They can either rip them, which I'd recommend, because that way you know that nothing's going to be wrong with your copy. It's going to be perfect, 1-to-1 almost. But when it comes to the MAME arcade pack, that's a little bit harder. So the MAME pack and the PlayStation 3 stuff, we have given out a couple of those games, purely just because trying to source them and get the right versions that everyone else has is a bit of a challenge. So. Again, it's just really the mission is to make it as easy as possible to get online with. So in two of the setups, we do offer links and downloads. Yeah,
that's pretty good in a way that at least the older games, because that was before the days of patching stuff, that we didn't have to worry about having like certain versions of a patch. But in saying that though, if I had an American, at least for me, I would have what would I have? A European. I think it would be
we'd
European.
Have PAL,
Yeah. So if I had, so can a PAL version work with a NTSC version?
No.
Okay.
It wouldn't work. No.
Yeah. Okay. So and does all right. So that's cool. At least that way people can know what to do with that. I can't. I'm watching this video on screen and I can't believe that like you're actually playing Deadly Alliance online. Did Deadly Alliance actually have an online feature? When it first...
No, Deadly Alliance. Not. I mean, I can't sit here and honestly say, in 2002, Deadly Alliance was before the online thing. But when it came to PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, obviously, GameCube didn't really have the online stuff. But this would have been before what I call the original 2000s PlayStation Network, and this would have been before Xbox Live. So no, it didn't have online play.
Yeah, because I think Deception, I think brought it in.
It did. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like, you can actually play the mini games as well, can't you? In some of these MK games, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so those are online too. And because we play this, we tend to play the GameCube version of Deception.
Okay, yep.
So obviously the GameCube and the Wii didn't have it online for these games, so it is exactly as it was back in the day when you'd invite your mate over. It's like sitting on the couch and you're playing your local offline play.
Yep.
So all of these games will work online. You can do puzzle combat, chess combat, and that sort of thing. And you don't really ever have to worry about it desyncing. Obviously, if you're really far apart, like some of us are in the group, UK to America can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. You will get, a spike of lag, but usually that goes away, and you can just you can adjust the buffer. So
okay, so it doesn't fully disconnect usually.
No, not really. No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Jeez, maybe they should hire you guys for some of the online coding we've seen in certain games from actual like developers, because that's the thing I was saying to you before, because we had a chat before this, that with Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat 9, in Australia I could play Australians and New Zealanders, but anything outside of that I'd instantly get disconnected, which sucked, because that was such a fun game to play online. So no, that's good that despite some lag, at least it sort of won't drop you out. Was there... Okay, so can you run down roughly off the top of your head, if you can, guys our age, sometimes it's a bit hard to remember shit, but it's like, but you know what I mean. Okay, so we're looking at, obviously there's Street Fighter, obviously there's Mortal Kombat. So do we have, now this is really sort of going down here, X-Men vs Street Fighter PS1 type versions, arcade versions, Marvel vs Capcom 1, X-Men vs I already done that, Marvel vs Street Fighter, I think, yep. Can King of Fighters games, Samurai Showdown, those sorts of ones. So, you know, are those ones, you know, in there, or are you looking to do that, or, you know, what sort of, you know, can you talk about anything you might be adding in the future, perhaps, or whatnot? Because I think I've seen some King of Fighters stuff, yeah.
Yeah. There definitely is a lot that I'm trying to do personally, but also my VIP team will sort of, you know, I do try and encourage my VIP team to sort of give me ideas on things that they might want to see. You know, it's always cool to get another opinion, but I mean, when it comes to, you know, SRKade and what we do, we spend, you know, hours and hours and hours testing and setting these emulators up so that when we package them and send them out there, obviously people can just download and play, right?
Yeah.
But we do that for games that we know work, and that's why we put them out there and we advertise those games, because we know they work with no issues, or, you know, relatively little to none, you know, no issues.
Yep.
But we also try to encourage people that if there's a game that you want to play and you've got a friend, you know, why not try to do that online with the setup, you know? I mean, because even now there's a really cool interface and emulator setup called NullDC Bear. You know, there's a developer that made NullDC Bear, he coded it, and that's been going for quite a while now, and it's still a fantastic way, probably the best way to play Sega Saturn and PS1 online right now, you know? 'Cause it's just so good. It's just so good at, you know, this interface that, because sorry, I should clarify. The person who made NullDC Bear, his name is Rosen X.
Mm-hmm.
He coded and he made this interface. He designed it really well, and it's got skins and super easy, right? Anyone can do it. Not a complicated thing to set up at all. But underneath that sits. This is a blast from the past. Another one, an emulator called Mednafen, which is like a multi-system thing. It's got, you know, any system you can think of. It does, you know, it does like Sega Saturn, PS1, Genesis, you know, NES, all the systems underneath the sun. And Mednafen is actually the backbone of the thing that sits underneath this NullDC Bear interface that allows us to connect together on their servers and play Sega Saturn and PS1 online. And with that, the beauty of NullDC Bear and that Mednafen emulator is that you can pretty much, the netcode, while it is delay based and it's done over servers, it is so good at staying synced that you can pretty much throw anything at it and you'll play it. You'll play it online. So if you, like, again, I encourage anyone, you know, who loves PS1 and Saturn and Dreamcast, who loves those home version ports. You know, like ones on Arcade Perfect, because it has more content in it. If you want to play that, join us, you know, because we love Saturn. I'd say to the guys, you know, let's play Street Fighter EX2 on the PlayStation. Let's play, I don't know, Alpha 2 Gold on the Saturn. You know, X-Men versus Street Fighter on Saturn. You know, you can throw anything at it and it will play. So I do definitely encourage people to experiment, have fun with it, and you know, just have a good time. Throw games at it and see what it will do, and try and play some online matches. You know,
that's really good. I remember when I was working at a computer shop, the boss like went overseas. I think he went to America for a business trip, and he asked us, all the workers, he's like, oh, what do you want us to bring back? You know, and of course back then, and you probably know this too, at least it was in Australia, you know, our games were slower. You know, we didn't have 60 hertz games, and we had big fucking borders and shit. And I remember specifically asking him to bring back, I think it was some Street Fighter collection, you know, and it had like the Alpha series and Super Street Fighter 2 and that in it. It was a wonderful collection, and because it was American, and because I could play it on my PS1 that was, you know, modded from the high seas, then, you know, I was able to play these games at full frame rate, full screen, and it was incredible. You know, it was just amazing to experience that. So it is sort of, it'd be weird, you know, especially people that are, you know, maybe discovering this stuff now that used to play these games in these PAL regions, suddenly being able to, you know, experience full speed and whatnot, and also in an online setting. I think that, I think that's pretty exciting, especially for, you know, it's one of the things I love about PC is you were talking about before about, you know, the preservation of gaming. Well, it's not just gaming, it's the preservation or the reviving of, you know, communities or potential communities from, you know, from the yesteryear, which is awesome. Yeah, I was looking at my PS1 fighting game list of ones that I have as favorite, right? Star Gladiator. Do you remember that?
I think I do. I mean, my memory's a little bit. Let me just. I'd just have to double check to make sure that is what I think that is. I certainly know the name.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Star Gladiator. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Now, shit. Here we go. Okay. You know what? So there was a Japanese-only fighting game that came out. There was two. There was 1 and 2, and it was called Tobal. Right. The Tobal series, Tobal. They were 3D fighting games, like 3D arena-style fighting games. And Tobal 2 was massive, even though it never... I think it's an English translation now, because people have edited the code and you know, put English in instead of the Japanese. But Tobal 2 was this wonderful fighting game with like... I think it was like 80 or something characters you could get, or over 100 characters, because the main story game, you could capture like the NPCs and then use them in the fighting game, right? Which was fucking batshit crazy. Like, we don't see shit like that. Crazy, yeah. You know, like,
no way, yeah.
I love the risk taking that they took with fighting games back in the day. So you, pretty much, so you could essentially take that and then play it online, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, no DC Bear, but you know, just remembering that no DC Bear is the interface, but Mednafen is the thing, the emulator underneath that runs all this stuff, and their servers as well. But yeah, Mednafen is so versatile in what it does. Again, it's so good. Not only is Mednafen a very accurate PS1 emulator, so timings and graphics are correct.
Yeah.
Because some emulators are, you know, too fast, or their timings are wrong, or the graphics get bugged. But yeah, Mednafen's so good is that, like I said, you could play Tobal online with your mate down the road, you know, if you wanted to. You know, just purely the convenience factor, the fact that it's so easy to set up. You got this really clean no DC Bear interface. You, like I said, so versatile. You can play pretty much any co-op or versus Sega Saturn or PS1 game online. As we were talking about earlier, I think it is pretty incredible. You know, we were talking about Kylera, and how back in the day it was good because it was the only option for these fighting games that we had. It's delay based, and funny enough, we still use it now. I mean, in this day and age, it runs better now because our internet, and you know, we're all using the Ethernet cables. But it's really, really fascinating to me, at least, how far net play for these fighting games has come. Because, like I said, 10 years ago, you would be sitting there and you certainly wouldn't even think, you know, 10 years into the future, I'm going to be able to play Sega Saturn games online. It's mind blowing. Like, out of all of the systems to get net play and to go online, to be honest, I never genuinely thought Sega Saturn would ever see the light of day. So the fact that we're doing it now, it's just incredible. You know?
And the Saturn had, at least from memory, I think the Saturn was superior in its 2D.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
So I think like some of the Street Fighter games ended up being a bit crisper and better through the Saturn.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of them were, you know, I mean, I don't want to. I want to say don't quote me on this, but I'm sure someone in the comments, I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me, but I'm pretty sure that Alpha 2. Not gold, but obviously just I think Alpha 2 was arcade accurate and Alpha 3 was pretty close.
Yeah.
On the Saturn, it was way better than PS1 because you know, limited memory made Capcom had to cut down the animation frames. So on the PlayStation at least. So yeah, definitely.
I think what was the superior version in the end of Alpha 3? Was it the one that ended up being on the was it the Dreamcast one or was it the PSP one? Do you remember? I
mean, like, I mean, like, if you want to talk in terms of like content and how much stuff is in the game, and you know, if we're talking about like fun here, then like Alpha 3 max by a mile. You know, it has like it added in like a bunch of CVS2 characters, like Eagle and Marky and Yoon, and then you had like reverse dramatic battle and like all of these modes. It's just crazy, and the fact that it's on the PSP. And I remember when I got Alpha 3 Max for the first time. I think I got it in 2009.
Yeah.
So I was a little late to the party because I think it came out in 06, Alpha 3 Max probably. But I just remember playing Alpha 3 in the palm of my hand on this PSP, thinking, "Wow, this is incredible." It's like, it's got all the sounds and the graphics. It's not cut down, and it's got. Bearing in mind, I mean, I had the PlayStation 1 version before that, so
yep.
You get so used to playing that version that when you have something that's really like the arcade and it's got even more content on it in the palm of your hand and it looks really good, it looks really crisp on this tiny screen, it's like, holy, crap, this is incredible, But yeah, I'd say Alpha 3 Max. Everyone, even now, people are saying they want Alpha 3 Max online.
Yeah.
There is a way you can play your PSP games online, but being that I mean, the PSP only had ad hoc networking.
Yeah.
So you'd be sitting in the same room as your mate. So it certainly wasn't designed or intended that years into the future someone's going to make an emulator and try and do ad hoc across the world. Clearly that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It just wasn't designed to do that. So I mean, again, unfortunately with PSP, you would have to play someone down the road. You wouldn't be able to play people further than that. But
now, on the PS3 emulator, like I found Mortal Kombat Trilogy, right? Mortal Kombat Trilogy never came out on PS3, not even in like a, not even like a re-release of like an old game, and then you just rebuy it. So, and I thought it was really interesting because I thought, okay, well, so taking what you were just saying, if say the PS3 emulator, you could load, like, if you could load up that Street Fighter, 3 Alpha Max, Alpha 3 Max, whatever the fuck, right? You load it up through the PS3 as a game to play, and then use that PS3 emulator to then get online. Could that work? Could that bypass that issue, technically?
I mean, unfortunately, like forgetting NetPlay for a second, unfortunately, the PlayStation 3 emulator doesn't support PS1. Those PS1 classics.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure it doesn't even run the PSP games. I just think it, because I think I remember you could do that on the actual PlayStation 3 hardware. You could run PSP games.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video of it, but no, unfortunately, on the PlayStation 3 emulator, you can't do that. So.
Now, I'm watching, because on the screen right now is some MK Armageddon gameplay through the Wii, right? Like the Dolphin, right? And so the character select screen has obviously some boxes missing. Now, if you have a save that has everything available, but somebody else doesn't have that and you play online, does it default to, does that matter? Or not?
I mean, we definitely try to make sure that everyone has all of the save files and cheat codes to unlock everything. I mean, this what we're seeing right here is one of the first times we played Armageddon Wii, the Wii version specifically online. So, excuse me, even now the Wii version we're still testing it online.
Yep.
So currently, because it is, we're testing it just to make sure that it works and it doesn't desync. We haven't yet got the cheats and the saves in there yet, so that's why in some of these videos you'll see that some of the characters and stages are just they're missing, they're locked, they're not there. But we're working on that right now, and it's something that it only takes a couple of minutes for us to set up and do. We've just been so busy. But, no, generally it doesn't matter too much because Dolphin, the way Dolphin is coded and it's made is that. When you go into a netplay match, it will sync to the host. So whatever the host has, memory card and heat-wise, it tends to sync it to the other player right before you load up the game. So it's pretty smart.
Yeah,
smart technology.
That is really good. That is really good. I was just trying to think. So okay, is there? Okay, you mentioned something about Tekken. Issues with issues with Tekken. Can you play Tekken online or not? Yes.
So if you wanna play the PlayStation 3 versions, so
Okay.
you
Yep.
think Tekken 5 DR and Tekken 6 and that,
Yep.
Tekken Tag 2, no, you can't at the moment.
Yep.
I mean, if purely talking from connecting to the third party sort of lack of a better word here off the top of my head, homemade PSN that they're doing.
Yep.
No, unfortunately you can't. There are just certain bits of code, matchmaking functions that are missing, and because those matchmaking functions are missing, the game doesn't know what to do, and it will soft lock. It will crash.
Yep.
So no, unfortunately you can't at the minute. But if you go to PCSX2, you can absolutely play Tekken 5 vanilla and Tekken 4 over the internet. You can do that. We do offer that, and also we do offer Tekken 2, 3, and Tag online over our main setup. So it's a bit of a way that we kind of get around it. We're not playing. Unfortunately, we're not playing. Tekken 5 DR and Tekken 6 online.
Yep.
It's purely just because the people that make the PlayStation 3 emulator and the PlayStation server, we're just waiting for them to code those certain functions, and then
Yep.
once that's done, everyone will be able to play Tekken 5 DR and Tekken 6 and Tag 2 online. So
That's I can't. So they're actually setting up their own essential PSN network.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
That's crazy, but that's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's pretty mind blowing. The amount of work that's gone into. I want to say reverse engineering it. Probably not, but just they've been able to analyze how the PlayStation Network is sending and receiving certain bits of data and where that data is going. It's essentially just studying network activity is what they're doing, and then they're able to study that and mimic that behavior, and then that's how they're able to make their own PSN server. Because it just pretty much, the PlayStation 3 game doesn't know any different. It just knows that it's connecting to PSN. That's all it knows. That's all it thinks. So, but what you're really doing is connecting to someone's third party server.
yeah, like I was saying before, like these guys got Metal Gear Online 2 back from Metal Gear Solid 4 to be able to play it online. They started by you getting to install it on your PS3, changing DNS, IP, etc. And now you can essentially doing what you're doing, where you download the PS3 emulator with the files already installed. You register an account, you load it up, you log in, and then you can just instantly play MGO2 online on your PC. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, it's crazy to think that all of this is possible. I mean, if we want to talk about Metal Gear, just for a second, I mean, you mentioned MGO2, right?
Yeah.
That's online, and it has a server going for it. But I mean, I think people either don't know or they forget that when Metal Gear Solid 3 came out and it had its second release called Subsistence.
Yep.
There was like a little Ape Escape mini game that was pretty funny, and then there was an online mode called MGO. It was MGO1.
Yeah.
You can still play MGO1 online. You can play that on the PS2 online, and what's really cool is that you can get the emulation is just incredible. Because you have MGO1 online and MGO2 online, but just talking about MGO1 online, somebody made a 60 FPS patch for it. So on the PS2, the frame rate on the PS2 wasn't that great, but on this emulator you can get a 60 FPS patch, and you can widescreen and upscale. So it's like you can make your own HD 60 frame version of Metal Gear Solid 3 online. It's crazy. So you could potentially have the full experience. You could start, you could host an event. You could do MGO1 online, go to MGO2, and then what we found out recently was that Peace Walker HD works online on the PlayStation 3 server now.
Yep.
So you've got the full range, and you can do it all in the comfort of your desk at your PC.
That's fucking... Jeez, man. Like, I remember... Listen, man, I remember when I first, discovered, ROMs and shit, and I'm like, oh my god, I can play my Sega Master System games again. And now, it just blows my mind, dude. And it's so cool. Yeah. I see a lot in the space of, lots of different games. I did an interview with a dude yesterday on my MMO online channel, because Respawn have abandoned Titanfall. You know, there's two dev projects out there. So we have North Star, which is a mod that allows you to play Titanfall 2 online. Because what happened, I don't know if you know, but basically these people were DDoSing the servers for Titanfall. So much to the point that no one can get online at all, even now. And Respawn, God knows how, considering they have all the fucking money in the world to do something, just couldn't figure out how to stop it. You know, so they just abandoned it. They pull the games from sale. You know, so and people love Titanfall. It's a fun game. You know, fun mech pilot game. So so it's North Star. Essentially, you put the files in your Titanfall 2 library. You click the exe, and it bypasses needing Respawn servers, and it still uses your purchase, and then it goes into, you know, accessing their connectivity network, so that way you can still experience it. And then for Titanfall 1, they're actually using the Titanfall 1 online game, which came out in North Korea. So it was actually an online game that was specifically made for South Korea, that was separate to the ones that we bought. And so they're actually using that one to be able to bring back, you know, and have people get online and play. And that's the wonderful thing about the PC community in general, is that, you know, if there's a community, even if it's small, you know, people are going to try and find a way to connect. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the PC crowd and these communities are so passionate that they'll do anything. And it was funny, it was interesting, because when we made a small mention on James Chen and Ultra David's channel, when they mentioned us, even they were discussing this all that, you know, that I think it was a year ago now. Bloody hell! That the fans are so dedicated that, you know, we should just let the fans do the netcode side. You know, don't let the people who make these games do the netcode side. You know, let the fans do it, because clearly they're more passionate and they'll do a better job. And that's kind of true, isn't it? I kind of agree with you and feel that. Like
you know, because it's going to be the fans that are going to be playing it all the time. They're going to be feeling the code and the connectivity and stuff like that, and so it makes a lot of sense for them to be the ones to go, you know, no, this is off. Let's figure it out and stuff. Whereas, like, you see that a lot in the MMO space, actually, to certain degrees. Like for example, World of Warcraft with Blizzard, they seem so out of touch with, you know, what makes a game fun. You know, they put in these systems and crappy crappy mobile light type, you know, gaming crap that, you know, might work for a tablet game, but, you know, people that in the MMO space don't want that, you know, and you know, their investors are going, oh well, it's making tons of money in mobile gaming. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't transpose over. So sometimes, like, I think that, yeah, it might be fine when these developers are sitting there and they're working out stuff on the couch or at the desk, you know, with everything, because everything's working one-to-one. But as soon as you take that online, there's, you know, everything changes. You got to deal with shit, man. I remember playing games back in the day where we had to, like, fucking lag shoot. So you'd literally have to aim in front of someone to shoot, because you had to account for that 1 or 2 second delay. You know, I mean, kids these days playing games, they'd have a heart attack. They'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, I may as well.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, unacceptable. May as well mail my shot. You know. You know. So it's just sort of funny that, you know, what we sort of had to adjust to, but at the same time, because of all of that experience, like what you're doing, you know, you now know how important it is to try and make that experience as painless as possible. Now, I have a request for a game. Right, it's a naughty game. It's a naughty game. Now, this was a banned game. Right? It was a banned game. It never made it to the light of day sales-wise, but it wasn't a traditional fighting game. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. And it was called Thrill Kill. Now, have you ever heard of Thrill Kill?
Yeah, I certainly have. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so anyone that's in the chat or listens to this doesn't know, Thrill Kill was kind of like, it was like a brawler, you know. So you'd have an arena, you know, and you choose your character, but you can move in a 3D space. So it was kind of, if I could liken it more to something like Bushido Blade in terms of like movement. So you weren't locked in side to side like a 2D fighter, and you had special moves and abilities, but it was banned because like, you know, like one of the characters was like some fucking like some sort of dominatrix chick that would like shove a fucking cattle prod down your throat, and you know, like it was fucking psychotic, right? Now, imagine playing something like that online. Imagine like you have like a thrill kill night or something, and like you got like, you know, 4 people in there playing, and that's possible. You know, like the bounds of not being able to buy it don't matter anymore because the game exists. And then the bounds of not having to just only play it on the couch don't matter anymore because you can just play it online. I don't know if you know this, you probably do, but like for those that don't, on Steam, for example, if you had a game that only had local co-op play or LAN play, right? Say I had that game and I had you on my Steam list. Even if you don't own the game, I can invite you to play. Right?
Oh, so, yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. Like, that's so good. Which means that boundary of physically needing to be on the couch with someone, you know, goes away, and you can, you know, have these experiences online with people. It's one of the coolest things. It's one of the few things about the internet and online gaming that I absolutely love, you know, and I'm glad that it's happened that way. And of course, now here we are with what you're doing. You know, I'm watching you playing someone online right now in this video, you know. Online in MK Armageddon. That's crazy, man. I can't get over that. Like, this is like seeing boobs for the first time, you know. Like, it's just wow. It's just wow, dude. So okay, so now I ask you, so I'm going to ask the opposite question. What's your favorite Street Fighter game?
Well, so I mean, I definitely have to say Third Strike.
Okay.
It used to be Alpha 3. I still like Alpha 3. I mean, I think like many people, I probably go through different phases. Different phases as to what I like at what time. I mean, right now we're on still, you know, because of the recent announcement of, you know, the RPCN network and Third Strike Online Edition. I think we're still pretty buzzed. We're still on the hype that is, you know, Third Strike Online Edition. So yeah, I definitely say that. I mean, the EX games are pretty cool too. I mean, like I said, it's just crazy because you can do so many of these games online now. It's just like the possibilities are endless. You know, even with the ROM hacks as well, you can pretty much do anything you want.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people forget that. I think they sort of, you know, they might come in and see that we're playing Third Strike and think, oh, those guys only play Third Strike. So, yeah, no, we play pretty much anything. You know, we even play we play the games that people, you know, like communities, you know, the games that they don't want to touch and the games that they don't want to play.
Yeah.
You know, I will more than happily sit and spend a night with the guys in the Discord playing, you know, EX3 online on the PS2 or EX1 or, you know, even, you know, because a lot of the arcade people, they get really peed off. You know, they're like, how could you not play the arcade version? Like, you're insane. Yeah. You know, and they sort of take it as a personal attack when you're not playing the arcade version on Fightcade. But it's, I say, you know, forget that nonsense. You know, like just have some fun with it. You know, like. But the console versions, I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with me. The console versions are actually more fun. You know, they add more content. There's different music and stuff and unlockables, and we just want to have fun. But you know, we're also very capable players. You know, we're all, you know, I think the people in SRKade are, you know, while it is a mixed bag of skill, a lot of them when we play Third Strike, you know, you'll see the parries, the red parries, the grab techs, the combos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all pretty, you know, competent and good players when it comes to these fighting games. So, you know, don't be fooled that, oh, you know, they're playing, you know, the console version of this game. They must not be very good and they must not know. Like, yeah, no, we could, you know, we're pretty good. We're pretty good at what we do. So
yeah, No, yeah, we were talking before, like, you know, it's one of the things that, actually, I can elaborate on it, because, yeah, we were talking before the cast stroke, everyone that's watching, listening, and one of the things that, you know, I was talking about was, you know, how I love the older fighting games, because, you know, you'd learn your handful of special moves, you know, if it was a game that had combos, it would have combos, you might learn a couple, and then I would scrap. So basically it's like, okay, I have my tools, you know, and now I'm just going to jump in and fight. So, because I used to teach martial arts, right? So, you know, you learn your skills, you learn your abilities, you know, no fireballs, unfortunately. But then when you spar, you know, like, you don't just spam front kick, you know, like, yeah, you have to try and adapt on the fly with your opponent, and it's very much like a fighting game. So when I've played Mortal Kombat 11 online, right, you know, I can get smashed, you know, because somebody will be like, you know, they'll learn like the latest broken character with the latest broken combo, and then they'll destroy me, and I'll lose, and I'll get the shits. I mean, I'm going to show this little fucker, this young little punk, you know, sitting in his university dorm room, and then I'll fight again, right, and I'll adapt, right, and I'll keep fighting until I figure out the weakness in how to break through. So when you're telling me about, like, you know, how you guys are fighting and you know how you're really good, I believe you, because, you know, you're playing from an era of fighting games where it really felt like you fought. You know, you couldn't just start a fucking combo in the middle of nowhere, right? And you know, and then hopefully clip them and then just keep going into it, like in, say, MK11, stuff like that. Even something like, you know, maybe the early Tekken games, not so much. Maybe the later ones, yeah, where, you know, you can start a combo in thin air. You know, it's so weird to me. You know, like, to me, like, doing a combo, you've got to physically touch them. Like, you know, in a real fight, you don't just start punching in the air and hoping that by the time you get to them, one of your attacks will hit. You know, so those old fighting games, whether it's Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, you had to learn your tools, and then you go, okay, now I have to adapt to who I'm going up against. You know, they might sit there and, like, you know, zone you. It's like, okay, what can I do? How do I get around this? You know, if I don't have parries, how am I supposed to, you know, get around it? Can I, you know, am I able to time my jumps to get there, you know, to close the gap? And you might find that because they're only good at throwing fireballs, you know, and they're not really good for anything else, then you can destroy them. And that's the cool thing about fighting games. I love, man. You know, that it's that unknown factor. So I'm going to have to definitely, you know, get online and lose to you guys, right? Because that's just part of the fun.
Definitely.
Do you remember, like, because, you know, you probably know this, you could pick any character in a fighting game and just have fun, right? Like, that's how it used to be, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just sort of depends on what level of skill you're at. You know, I mean, I think you could sort of sit here and say, I think the most fun you'll ever have with a fighting game is probably, you know, day one, week one. You know, the first month you'll have the most amount of fun because you don't really know, and it's interesting, and it's like a bit of a science to sit there and figure out, you know, what are your best moves. You know, what characters are good, what characters are not so good. Yeah. And you know, that's like where the enjoyment is. That's where the fun is. You know, just picking up a fighting game for the first time, pressing some buttons. You know, maybe you land a couple of wins and you call it a day. And, you know, you go make dinner. You know, you get on with the rest of your day. But you know, if you start taking it seriously and you do it online, or you maybe even go to local meetups if you're lucky enough to have that in the scene around you. You certainly don't really get that here unless you go to, you know, London or Manchester. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think once you start to, you know, really boil these games down to, you know, actually sitting there concentrating and playing, then unfortunately the fun does go a little bit. But you know, I like to think that sort of gets you know, either brought back or replaced by the fact that, you know, we're sitting on a voice chat and we're talking trash and we're you know, like you do, like you make fun out of one another, you challenge one another. You know, it gets really competitive. It doesn't get nasty and aggressive. It gets competitive and it gets fun. You know, and that's where the enjoyment comes in. You know, any time, you know, because I mean, even just going back a minute, something basic. You know, we have a bunch of people in the Discord at the moment who have either probably never played Darkstalkers or have played it once or twice, like we were saying. You know, just beginning steps. But you suddenly get a bunch of people together, and you all encourage one another to learn how to play this game.
Yeah.
It's like you all go away and you all train and you all learn different combos, and then slowly, you know, it's like a bit of a process. You slowly encourage one another, you know, and it's purely because you're online gaming in a voice chat, and just the hype and the positivity and all of it, just one big, you know, one big group where you encourage one another and you play, and that I think that's really what it comes down to. That's what makes the group work, is that because we're all similar people, you know, we all respect one another, but we can, you know, trash talk. It's just a very exciting, hype environment, especially when you're streaming online, because anyone can come in, anyone can watch, and then when you finally get that combo down that you've been practicing, you land it, you know, the chat blows up and everyone goes nuts. You know, it's a great time. You know, so that's really what it's about.
Yeah, it was there was a lot of respect, you know, especially in the days of when you went to the arcade. You know, I don't know if it happened in the UK, but here, you know, people would come up and they put like $1 coin or like, you know, whatever equivalent. They put it on the screen in the bottom corner, and that and that indicated that they were the next person to take up whoever lost. You know, I never saw fights. I never saw people get shitty. You know, it's so weird that, like, you know, people would have just been spanked, and yet they still, with dignity, got up and went, okay, right, you know, I lost. You know, and it's weird. Nowadays, everyone loses, like, fucking, I don't know if it's for show, maybe it is in these fighting game tournaments, but everyone just, like, loses their mind. And, you know, and so that's encouraging to hear that. You know, do you get a lot of young people in through your Discord, like, that join up?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I tried to make it very, very clear and obvious that, you know, I think we even have it on our Twitter bio, and in our rules on our Discord, even though, you know, barely anyone reads them. Who will sit there and read the rules page these days? But we try, you know, I try to make it very obvious that this is an 18+ community. So, you know, people do, you know, kids do sort of slip through the cracks, and that's, you know, I don't know if I want to say annoying. It is more frustrating, but you know, I think purely just, I mean, I've tried to build a certain community of a certain age and a certain, you know, I mean, obviously, from what we discussed earlier, I try to be, you know, I think how do I say it without making it sound weird? Like, I want to say, like, the people that are in the community are like a bit of an extension of myself, you know, purely just from the fact that we're all quite similar, you know. It's a treat people how you want it to be treated thing. So I'm polite, clean, and respectful, and I think everyone who joins our voice chat is as well. You know, even when you speak over or you interrupt one another, it's very polite, and it's very, you know, whether you get your ass kicked, it's still, everyone still knows. Everyone still knows, just because it's something that I want and I make obvious. Everyone still knows to say, hey, I got my ass kicked, but good game. Or, you know, even when you're getting your ass kicked and someone does a really cool move and you didn't block it, you don't sit there and get mad and get pissy. You say, oh wow, that's really cool, well done, that's really awesome that you did that, like, you got some serious skill, but how do I adapt to it? How do I learn? How do I block that and stop that from happening? But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, unfortunately we do get a couple, but you know, I do try and get rid and kick where I can, because it's just, while we are, you know, open-minded and we're friendly and we're a really nice community, conversation isn't really, it's just not a place for kids. You know, we want to be of a certain age group and range. It is for a certain group of people. you know, purely just going off of age. You know, this is not a place for kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes are, you know, the things we say and the conversation that's had, it gets a little bit edgy, a little bit, you know, after 9 p.m. crowd sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I kid, but it is serious. Yeah, no, it's just it also comes into, you had to be there at the time when these games were coming out to really get it and to really appreciate it, and that's why we do the age group that we do, you know.
Yeah. So obviously, like, you know, sort of obviously more adult crowd. Now, in the adult range of aging, you know, have you ever had, like, you know, 20-somethings or late 20-somethings come in, and just be completely enamored with, like, you know, like these old fighting games, you know, kids that are like this age bracket that, you know, probably grew up playing their first fighting games maybe on the PS3, and then they suddenly just for whatever reason stumble into this world. Have you had people like that, and you know, that must be pretty cool if that does happen, though, you know.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, and I welcome it. We do have a lot of you know, people in their 20s in the Discord, but you know, it's not. It's quite funny to actually sit and talk about. You know, it's not something that we've ever discussed really, but not really a conversation that comes up. But it's funny because a lot of them will. You know, you could be hanging out with them for like months, and then it comes up one day. You're just hanging out and you're having a conversation, and then you know, the topic of age comes up, and then you know, someone will say like, oh, I'm you know, oh, I'm 20, I just turned 20, or you know, I'm 26 or 27. It's like, wow, you don't sort of act it, you don't come across as that's your age. But I think the people that we get, whether they're 20 or in their 30s or 40s or 50s, I welcome all of them. And like I said, if you come into the chat, you can have a laugh with us and be respectful and be polite. You'll get on, you know. We love to joke around. We all know one another, and I think that definitely helps. You know, because you won't get away with, you know, treating people like crap. Because you know, there's some sort of responsibility there. But you know, like I said, there is respect. We're all friends here. We all get on, and we welcome anyone. Obviously over 18. But we can still trash talk, and we know that at the end of it, it's just for fun, and we actually sit there and laugh about it. It's not, you know, trash talking and someone gets really offended. You know, that doesn't happen. It's trash talking, but then we don't take it seriously because we end up laughing half the time. You know.
Good old fashioned ribbing, as they used to call it. You know.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. That's really good. You know, it's. I mean, you're appealing to my heart, man, right? Because you're my people, you know. Like, and it's just, it's so good, you know. Like I said, like whoever, you know, retweeted it on, you know, on Twitter that time, and then I hit you up with that first message and stuff because I couldn't believe, you know, that this was a thing. And of course, you know, we've talked, you know, for a bit tonight actually, and just realized that there's so much possibility, you know, for even more, you know, more fighting games to sort of, you know, get into the pool. Now, do you run actual competitions, like professional competitions via online? And if you do, how do you set up that sort of thing?
Yeah, we definitely do. We do run competitions and we do run brackets. Lately, I've taken, because there was a point in time, you know, real life unfortunately sometimes takes over. You know, full-time job, bills to pay, things to do in real life. So there was a period where I took a couple months break. I think it was definitely needed though, because you know, we were just active over lockdown. Over lockdown, we were active and on Discord every single day, working on these projects and talking every day. So I think we all collectively got pretty burnt out. So we took a break for a couple months. But we're coming back to it now, and like I said, with a couple of retweets from some people on Twitter, some good, you know, big names, that it's now, you know, SRKade is more alive than ever, and more, you know, probably the most active that it's ever been. So yeah, I'm getting back into running events. We recently did we did Mortal Madness.
Yep.
That was, let me just check. That was on, oh wow, that was on Tuesday the 11th. We did Mortal Madness. So I got a bunch of people to sit down and play some Deception and Armageddon online, and I recorded those matches. It was a good time. I mean, I'll just check my events board to go through the history of some of the events that we've done. So we've done DA. I do a series called Speedrunner, which is like a small game challenge that runs for a week, where I will post certain challenges, and whoever wins the speedrun challenge will get a reward or a new tag or something. Yeah, we've done like Alpha 3, we've done CVS 2, Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Wow.
We did a LAN night where we played Unreal Tournament 99, Quake 3 Arena, and Time Splitters. What else have we got? We did Tekken. We did the Tekken Battle, which was Tekken Tag Tournament and Tekken 4 online.
Yep.
And then what else have we got? We have got, so tomorrow at 8 p.m. GMT we're doing Third Strike. Then again we got some Mortal Kombat on Tuesday the 18th.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be as active as I can, and I guess the point is that I try and rotate the games as much as I can. So at the moment we're seeing more Mortal Kombat because we didn't do that for a while, but now we're coming back.
Yep.
Street Fighter always comes around, no matter what it is. But yeah, I try and listen to my community and the people, my people in the group to ask what they want to see. You know, so they said recently we love Third Strike Online Edition.
Yep.
Can you do something for it? So I've made an event that's tomorrow, and then sometimes I might go, okay, what do I want? What do my friends want? Shall we, something that we've been meaning to sit and do. I've been meaning to do Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and like an online event for that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely in there too on the list. But yeah, it just gets a bit crazy, because there are so many games that we support and so many games that work on these emulators. There's so much freedom, and it's sometimes a little bit overwhelming because there's so much choice. It's like, wow, okay, what do we do next? I do try to encourage people to ask for games and what they want to do.
So when I was like we were talking before about Rainbow Edition of Street Fighter 2, and anyone that doesn't know anything about Street Fighter 2 Rainbow Edition, so basically Street Fighter 2 there was a whole bunch of revisions, and one of them was a hacked version called Rainbow Edition, and it actually showed up, and basically you could do like aerial fireballs. So if you jump in the air as Ryu, you could do aerial fireballs just over and over and over and over and over again. His hurricane kick would be like a bullet across the screen if you use like heavy kick. E Honda would have fireballs coming out of his hand in his 100-hand slap. Crazy shit like that would be fucking. You're sitting there just changing characters, hitting your start button like that. That sort of. It's that sort of craziness is also pretty cool too. So you've obviously got down pat doing these competitions and like the legit versions of the games, but because I was just looking on my main list, like Rainbow Edition, old 2D sort of fighters, Bloodstorm and Time Killers, like Primal Rage, just like. It just like the possibilities are just endless, man, and it's so fucking cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just Killer Instinct. Shit, have you done? Actually, yeah. Have you done any Killer Instinct yet? 1 or 2?
Not yet. No. I know that people absolutely love. It's funny because you think. I mean, the arcade version of KI 1 is certainly superior, graphic and sound wise, but. People would rather sit and play the Super Nintendo KI1 because purely it's what people had, in their home. It's nostalgia, and the different music and sound quality on that is what people prefer. So it's also really really cool because SRKade has not only the arcade versions of KI1 and 2, but it also has KI on the Super Nintendo. So you can play that over SRKade with rollback, and it runs really really great. So. Again, with a lot of these emulators and SRKade roll back netcode, so like online performance is like you're in the same room, on the couch with your mate, with your buddy. But also it allows us to spectate. And as you can imagine, when it comes to running events and streaming on Twitch, which this year I'm definitely planning to get back into the Twitch game, but that allows us to run these events and do it professionally. Now we can do more with the graphics, and we can do the spectate and run it like a proper esports event, if you like. So definitely KI is on the list. I did seriously consider doing Super Nintendo KI, and then because there are a lot of people who love KI in SRKade, and we certainly also love KI 2013, which is on Steam. That is an amazing game.
It's crazy, dude. It's fucking awesome. Dude, like, did you notice? You must have, like, when you go through the menus, right? Like, you're pressing through the menus on Killer Instinct, like the one on Steam. It actually has that. It actually plays in tune. Like this.
Oh yeah.
Like one of the it's like that sort of like soft, somber Killer Instinct sort of background, a soundtrack. And when you're going through depending on how fast you are, it'll be like doing, like, and it's like, dude, that's so, like, those tiny details, man. Like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it plays like the notes from the Killer Instinct theme. I'm huge when it comes to sound design. Sound design for me is really, really important.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I have 2 subwoofers in my room. I'm crazy about bass and good sound design fighting games. I mean,
good man.
Killer Instinct is huge. I absolutely love it. I play guitar and I love my rock and metal music. So. I'm all about good sound, and even just touching on MK9, I remember booting that up for the first time and hearing the bass and the rumble. Oh, mate, it's fucking incredible. Same with KI, the soundtrack and the noises and all of it. It's just, I think it's sad because a lot of people, I wish everyone in the world could be as passionate as me about sound and sound design. Unfortunately, that's not the way it is. But I think people don't really realize what they have in front of them. They don't ever get to hear it or appreciate it as it's intended. They just sit and play these fighting games on a crappy pair of earbuds, where it's really tinny sound, and they don't really think twice about it. That's just how that sounds to them. But for me, again, with fighting games and music for me go really hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I'm just I'm incredibly passionate, and even talking about it, dude, totally excited. Love it.
It seems like fighting game music isn't as like Killer Instinct, I think, was the exception, but it felt like in recent years fighting game music doesn't seem to be as important. Whereas you could play a track from the Alpha series, or original Street Fighter 2 series, or King of Fighters, or Mortal Kombat series, like, and you could if you're into the genre, then you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that one. I can't remember shit from MK10, MK11, the new Street Fighter games. Like, nothing is, nothing really sticks.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's such a shame. Like, I loved Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero, and one of the reasons for that is that fucking soundtrack. Some of that music is just mint. Shinnok's Fortress soundtrack. The when you go into like the water, like underground sort of like sewer area, the music in that was really haunting. It's just, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like we get that. It doesn't feel like because fighting game music, and I think the people that created the new Killer Instinct understood that too. Fighting game music can hype you up. It's and depending on where you are in the match will change. Like the score will change to sort of like, denote that things are getting desperate, and you're, and I think it's really important. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love the new KI so much. It's got the gameplay, the graphics are pretty good. I love the particle effects, flying across the screen with the sparks, and you got the announcer screaming, and that just gets me hype every time. It's pure adrenaline stuff. You know, it's great. I totally agree. But yeah, when I saw like the musical Ultra thing for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it was like Orchid versus Jago, and just listening to the Jago theme for the first time when the game was coming out, I was, dude, chills.
Yeah.
Chills. I was shocked. I was like, this. I mean, I think the Jago theme in the Tiger Lair is like a real metalcore thing.
Yeah.
With lots of zeros and chugging, and I'm totally into that. As you know, that's my sort of music. So when I heard that and the Himalayan like throat singing sort of stuff, I was all over it. Super into that.
I used to have that because the Super Nintendo had that soundtrack bundle with it, and I used to like play that all the time. There was like 2 versions, I think, of the Killer Instinct main theme, and one of them had like the guitars in it. It was like meow, 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 and I was like, man, that's fucking awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I love MK9, right? So there was a PS3 version, but you said that we can't. So, hang on. So, on the PS3 emulator, we can play stuff. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. So, could something like MK9 work technically?
I mean, I guess it could. I mean, I'm speaking to some of my VIPs about it. They know more about MK9 than myself. I mean, I love MK9. I played it loads on Steam. I didn't play it when it was like on PS3 and 360. I got into MK9 a bit late. I was quite stubborn. I refused to play it because I thought it was crap at the time. But now I could be more sorry because I love it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of those games where it doesn't work yet. Yeah. It should work in the future once the server gets better with age and time, and the code gets updated. It will probably start working. But it's unfortunate because we've had a bit of a taste with some of the online games. And now we want more. Yeah. But obviously, a lot of the games just aren't compatible yet on their server. So it's just about working with what we've got and the tools that you've got. There's only so much you can do because of limitations, and you just got to wait and see what this year will bring. This year, there's been quite a lot of rumours and things about what emulators are getting rollback. That's been a thing. So we're all very, very excited and hoping that we're going to get rollback on certain emulators this year. But I reckon this year could probably be quite a good year for RPCN for the network because there's so much time, and I reckon now that the audience is getting bigger, the developers might actually start to make changes and get these games working. So I just know that once the Tekken games go online, and once Mortal Kombat 9 and other games go online, it's going to be the biggest deal. It's going to be a really, really huge deal for many communities. Again, it's just preservation. These games, they're getting older. Some of the servers have been taken down. I'm pretty sure for MK9 you can't play it online on the PS3 anymore. I think that seems to be what a lot of people are saying. The majority are saying. I think there's no reason why it can't work in the future.
Yeah, I think the PC version, like I'm pretty sure, like in recent times I've connected someone to PC, like on like the Steam version. It's just they're overseas, so even though I can connect, like the game drops out because of the distance. But so this network that they're building for the PS3 emulator, basically I'm assuming then that you could literally load up Mortal Kombat 9, and if other people are playing MK9 and you go into the online portion in the game, you'll simply just be able to play them. Is that correct? Is that what
I mean, it will function exactly the same as the real PlayStation Network does and did. When the game was online, it will function exactly the same. Whether or not performance will be better, I mean, there's only the netcode is netcode. You can't change that. That's baked into the game. You can't improve that. But I'm not to get anyone's hopes up. We'll just say that it's going to run on par with the real PSN. Because that's the least it can do. It can run on par with it.
That's good enough.
Whether or not it'll be better, Well, yeah, whether or not, I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It's trying to be PSN, and it's doing it. It's working. So we have that at least. But whether or not it'll run better, that's like a really small chance. It probably just depends on servers. And again, once you matchmake and you get into a game, it doesn't really use a server. It's peer to peer. It's direct connections. So again, it's going to be exactly as it was back in the day.
Yep. That'll be like. Fuck. Yeah, because when I... So, here's a little bit of history for you. Mortal Kombat 9 got banned, right? When Mortal Kombat 9,
It did, yeah. I saw Untitled MK talk about it at that time,
Yeah, I went fucking ballistic, right? Like, I was making, like, videos every day back in the day on an old channel I had. I was ringing up fucking, the capital city down in Canberra, trying to talk to whoever I needed to talk to try and, figure this out. And oh god, I fucking imported 3 copies. Right? They were so, like, the funny part is they're going, oh, if you import these copies, we're going to fine you. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Right? They're not going to go through and check every single DVD-sized case, for fucking Mortal Kombat. So I got 3 copies. I kept one and I gave my friend, my 2 other friends a copy each. But yeah, that was like crazy, and that was because in Australia they were using the movie rating system to rate video games, right? So, which is fucking stupid because you can't, because one's an interactive media and the other isn't. So I was playing with the PS3, and obviously it wasn't banned in New Zealand, so that was all fine. But we couldn't connect outside of that because it was still Crash. But I think I was mostly playing Kiwis, because not many people would have had the Australian version at the time because it was banned. And then eventually, I think a year or so later, they reformed the review system and finally allowed it. But yeah, that was crazy. But no, it was a lot of fun playing online in MK9, and it's also one of the the versions that only had Kratos, which was the PS3 version.
That's true. Yeah, that is right. I mean, I don't know how many people would be excited to play Kratos, but it's definitely cool. I mean, like I said, I don't know about anyone else, and to be completely honest, I mean, I know people would say, "Oh, just play it on," just we've heard it all before. We've heard these stupid comments from since day one when we started this Discord group. About, oh, why don't you just play it on SRKade, or what's wrong with you, play the arcade version? It's like, I couldn't care less. Less. SRKade will always be there. These versions won't. So we're just going to enjoy this and do what we want to do while it's there, and we're going to have fun with it. So yeah, I mean, you can play, I think most people now will play MK9 Steam over Parsec. Yeah. I really don't like Parsec. I've had a bit of a mixed time with it. Sometimes UK to UK it's been good. Yeah. UK to the States, you might as well not bother. You might as well just use the same, the in-game netcode, because it would run exactly the same as it did over Parsec. Parsec was just more hassle. So I couldn't really care less about Parsec. Not just a waste of time. Doesn't really do anything for me. But I think if and when MK9 goes online on the PlayStation 3 server, I don't care. We'll play it. We're gonna we'll be over in our Discord having fun, just doing our own thing. Anyone who wants to play the PlayStation 3 version online, come and join us. You're more than welcome. But yeah, it is what it is.
It must be our generation, because you were saying before about normally the home versions would get a hell of a lot more shit in it. We saw the home versions change with the Street Fighter live action digitized version. The arcade version felt very lightweight. When Street Fighter the movie came home, I think we got extra characters. We got Akuma and stuff. I think were added to the game. Pretty much every Mortal Kombat game felt like you were just getting a whole bunch of extra stuff. Street Fighter, especially Street Fighter 3, when that came first out on PS1, we had all those extra characters, which was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think because of our, and we're not fucking ancient, but I think just because, we grew up in a period of time where, we while it would have been cool to have the arcade versions, I think we actually were able to experience, getting these different versions of the arcade game that felt like they were just, it was like a unique thing, and then you like, for example, like, you play Tekken 1 arcade and it feels just so empty compared to the PlayStation 1 version of Tekken 1, where you got all the extra characters and shit like that. So it's, they really made an effort to try and, make people want to buy the home versions of these games. And of course now, obviously there's no difference, has been no difference for quite a while, but it was always so cool to, to find out what the secret cheats were, or hidden characters, or anything that was added to these home versions. And as you said, they can be even more fun because of the extra stuff. I think Tekken 2 was the same. Tekken 2, was so vastly different to the arcade version and the home version. So,
definitely. Definitely. I mean, yeah. I know that the arcade heads and the arcade elitists will always prefer the arcade, and that's fine. Like I said, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That Fightcade will still always be there anytime it's easily accessible. Anyone can do it. These other emulators take a bit more work to set up.
Yeah.
I mean, arcade is plug and play, and then someone made a download script for it that will just grab the ROM. Anytime you click on the ROM.
Yeah.
We try and be similar. These emulators aren't plug and play, but we pretty much set them up and put them in a pack to make them plug and play. So rather than people going out there and trying to fight to find all of these files and get it set up, and then you got people who've got different files and then find that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
How about you just come to, just come to us? We'll save you the headache. Don't bother spending your whole night trying to figure this thing out. It's already ready. It's already ready to go. Just come over here, grab the pack, and stop playing.
Yep.
Spend time doing the thing that you actually want to do. We can offer that.
Yep. So you said, hang on. You said is there a script or something, or a program that you can get to source the games? Is that correct for Fightcade?
Yeah. So on someone, I can't remember the developer's name, but there was a developer that made a script that it's, I think almost every person ever who has Fightcade has this script, but it pretty much, all it does is that you put these scripts into your Fightcade folder, you launch Fightcade like normal, and then I've just seen Kells in the comments. Thanks Kells.
Yeah, I saw that. Cool.
Any time that you launch Fightcade and you pick a game that you don't have the ROM to, this script will open up in the background, download the ROM, put it into the folder, and then you can just play your game.
Nice.
It grabs the exact same version that everyone else is using, and you just go online instantly. It's a really useful script. And like I said, anytime the conversation of Fightcade comes up, the mention of the script always comes up with it. You can't talk about Fightcade and not talk about the script that grabs the games. It always comes up.
I'll have to find that, because I've probably got the ROMs anyway, but I'm too fucking lazy. I'd much rather it just if I feel like in the mood for playing a certain one and I see someone playing it, I can just instantly nab it. And they're so tiny. It's not like it's going to be loads of space, but
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just trying to think, just trying to think if I've got any other questions. I don't know. I can talk about fighting games forever though. But so okay, so how do I put this? So there's no sort of real reason that any of this sort of stuff could get shut down. Because, you hear stories all the time, somebody makes some fan game and then fucking Nintendo cracks a hissy fit and goes, how dare you create a Mario game that's fun, So, and I'm assuming not, because the Mugen community has been doing this shit for 2 decades, and so far, with all the, sort of releases, full releases and whatnot of various Mortal Kombat games, Street Fighter, everything. Nothing's ever happened. So I'm assuming it's, you're in that same realm of it's all cool, yeah? So...
I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of. I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to be doing it, and no one is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're being completely honest, I mean, we had a couple news articles that came out. We never asked anyone. That's not really how that works. I do know that, but how funny that sounds. But when we first rebranded to SRKade, and we made a trailer, and we offered a pack out.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of people were talking about it. It was all over Twitter. People were talking about this new thing, SRKade, and how weird and kind of cool it was, and online play for these games. How awesome and easily accessible it was. But a couple of fighting game news websites were saying, "Oh, SRKade is really cool, and look at what they're doing, and now we can play Marvel 2 and all this online."
Yep.
Then at the bottom of these pages, it was like, please buy your games. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh, come on, like if you think about it, if we have an honest conversation and just be real for a second, Fightcade and its arcade ROMs and emulation, I don't think anyone is going to spend £3, £4, £5, like £600 on an arcade board. Then they're going to have the hardware to rip the ROM chips, and then they're going to put it on their computer and play it online.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Hope you don't mind me saying this, but who the fuck has the money and the time?
Yeah.
Nobody, like £600 could be, the Alpha 2 arcade board, and then you got to buy the monitor, and then the hard. You've got to buy some special, obscure piece of hardware that can rip and burn these chips.
Yeah.
That could cost even that piece of equipment, that cable or whatever, to copy the chip data. Even that could be a couple of £100. Like, no, we're not naive enough, I think, or ignorant enough to sit here and say that people are buying arcade boards and ripping them for Fightcade.
Yeah.
No, like, nobody ever does that. Like, you'll see Justin Wong or Maximilian, quite big people in the fighting game community playing online. Nobody's stupid enough to sit there and say, yes, Max has bought some arcade boards, but I don't think Justin or Max are really doing that.
No.
We're not stupid enough to be saying that. We all do it. It's a bit of a grey area, and no one wants to talk about it because obviously with Discord, you're breaking terms of service on Discord. I know people are going to go, "Oh, Bev, like really, mate," but it's true. There are so many emulation Discords who do the same thing that we do. If you'd have to shut us down, you'd have to shut everyone else down. There are so many groups offering out BIOS files or games. Yes, you're not supposed to be doing it, but it's a legal grey area.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's one of the things that that PC does that console doesn't seem to do, is that it preserve these digital libraries or whatnot with these games. It's one of the things I do love about PC and PC gaming, is that these things, like I said, this whole time we've been talking, we've had your videos playing of you playing online, and this is possible because of these games being archived somewhere at one point, and then them just spreading around and people playing. It's not like no one obviously that makes Mugen games can charge, obviously, and certainly nobody's like paying or anything like that, to access any of this sort of stuff, and that's fine, because that's obviously that would be bad, but the grey area is like, well, no one is profiteering, even the people that originally made it. There's no arcade games of any of these out there right now anywhere. Unless one of them is stuck in someone's fucking garage, and then they're just playing it for themselves. And the fact is that if we get into the console space and people trying to source these old games, well, the fucking retro gaming scene for pricing is just fucking stupid. Like I've had people, go, "Oh, well, you should just try and buy it." It's like really, like, you want me to spend $400 on this shitty ass game, when I can just I can just go get the ROM and it's the same experience, except I don't have to get off my ass. I can just literally click load, make sure my controller's on when I do it, and off I go. Like, some people clutch their pearls too much with this stuff. We're not pirating or we're not doing anything illegal with like a fucking PlayStation 5, you know. But
Yeah.
you know, it's, you know, especially in you know, like Microsoft, I'll give them credit because they understand, you know, game preservation to a degree, and you know, they made it so that their Xbox consoles are backwards compatible, which is great, and that's really awesome. You know, something that Sony should be doing, 100%, because they probably have an even way bigger library, you know, and their PS5 would be more than capable to do it, considering that, you know,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Definitely.
yeah, they have, you know, absolutely like re-released, you know, PS2, PS1 games back in the day, even on the PS3, you know, so
Yeah,
they could do
that's
it,
true.
you know, and that was even after they took out the chip to emulate it. That was purely running software that they could emulate PS2 and PS1 games at that point, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
it's I like, you know, I love this, you know, game preservation. I love the fact that we have access to this stuff, and it's you know, what's more important here, clutching your pearls over something that's not going to make money to any developer because probably the fucking company doesn't exist anymore, you know, or B, people actually having fun and making friends and connecting with people that they probably haven't been able to connect with for like 20 plus years, because fighting games started disappearing out of arcades, you know, quite a long time ago, and now they're replaced with like throwing shit, bashing crap, and you get those tickets and stuff, you know. Like, you don't see fighting games anymore, you see barely any racing games, you know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, those fucking claw machines and penny.
Yeah, claw machines, yeah.
Pieces of crap. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Kel's brought up a good point, saying rest in peace to the retro resale scene.
Oh,
I
yeah.
totally agree. That's a good point to talk about because I mean, here in the UK, there are a lot of retro gaming markets, and you'll see like complete in box new SNES games, and they'll probably charge like £50 or 60 or like more. You know, up to £80, 80 quid, and it's like. Who the fuck wants to pay 80 quid for a complete in box Super Nintendo game? Like, there's just no point. I mean, I know maybe I'm, you know, the wrong, the wrong market, the wrong demographic for the retro gaming market. But I mean, you get a real mix of people at those markets, and
Yeah.
you know, all different backgrounds. Some people go there just to meet new people and see what's going on in the scene, and other people go there to seriously buy these games. But I don't genuinely think you'd go to one of those markets, spend £50 on what, like, you know, we're watching right now Capcom versus SNK 2
Yeah.
on the Dreamcast. You wouldn't, you know, that was Japanese only until it came to the PS2.
Yeah.
You know, but you wouldn't fucking pay, you know, £100 for a copy of Japanese CVS2 just to play it on Fightcade. You wouldn't do it. It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I mean, I really doubt, you know, Capcom versus SNK has been I'm not talking about online play or tournaments, but in Capcom's eyes, it's a dead series.
Yeah.
It doesn't get re-released. You don't see it anymore. It's not played. As far as Capcom makes out, it doesn't even fucking exist at this point.
Yeah.
So Capcom are not making money from CVS2. Maybe an arcade operator might be. You know, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how that works. If Capcom is still getting a cut from these arcade, venues, doubt it. But yeah, it's just silly. You know, obviously, I know my argument isn't a legal argument. It would not stand up in court. I'm not pretending that it would either. You know,
Yeah.
it's not legal. It's wrong. But yeah, preservation. I totally agree, and you're right with what you said about Microsoft. They definitely understand. I mean, from what I understand, isn't it just a case of put your disc in that you already have, and it's able to recognise that and grab it? I don't know if there's a fee. Because I know people complained about something similar where they put their disc in and then the store, like if it was PlayStation or Xbox, but the store made them buy the game again. It's like, I bought this game already. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
All you're doing is you're running an emulator on your console that's able to upscale and, you know, enhance these games, but it's the same game. You know, it's just a bit silly, you know. It's just a bit silly, and these arcade games again aren't really making money anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone ever will download them and play them online, and nobody really cares. Obviously, like, that breaks Discord's terms of service, and like I said, I think if you shut us down, you'd have to shut every other emulation group out there too.
Yeah.
You'd have to shut them down, but
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's such a, you know, obvious, like, and the thing is, though, like, back in the day when the games were made available, we obviously bought them, or whatnot, or maybe we, bought them, traded them in, and stuff like that. I will argue, actually, right? I don't give a fuck. I will argue the point that trading a game in is actually worse than piracy, right? Maybe that's a crazy thing to say, but I'm bald and old. I don't give a fuck. But if you think about it, right, when they go, oh, you're not giving any money to the developer, it's like, yeah, but a pirated something is not a loss of a sale. Because if you sat there and go, I do not want to purchase that, what's the difference? Now, obviously, the difference is that you experience something that you technically should have paid for, right? But that doesn't mean to say it's a loss of sale. But a traded game, especially like in here, I don't know if it's like in the UK, in here, you could go buy like a brand new game, right? And if you finish it under a week, you can take that back and get your full money back, right? So you can, you paid $100, and the games here are pretty expensive. You can get $100 back, right? So you've played the game, you've experienced it, and then taken it back, right, and taken your money back, right? So maybe there is no, when I say it out loud, maybe it's crazy, but it doesn't sound any different than piracy, right? And people do that all the time. And then if you don't take it back in a week and you trade it, what actually happens is that they keep, like, the shop, like game, EB Games it's called here, they obviously keep a percentage of that money, right? So they're making money off a game that, that they have no intention of giving that money to the developer for.
Yeah.
Right? So I hope I'm explaining that right.
It sort of feels like dead money, doesn't it? Because it's not really going to the company. It's not really going. It's going to fucking it's going to fucking Ryan or Jim or whoever the fuck's pocket at the Retro Gaming Expo. It's not going to Capcom.
Yeah. So it's like when people obviously they access music and movies on the high seas. Hanging out with Jack Sparrow. But like the thing is, like, everyone does stuff like that. So when I see people clutching their pearls, I've had people who get shits at me, when I say I'm all for emulation. It's like, you're talking about shit that is dead. There is no developer that the money can go to. There's no publisher at all for this money to go to, right? It's not like somehow, and I mean no disrespect with this, like, at all, right? But it's not like Fightcade, or SRKade is suddenly now going to eclipse a brand new fighting game coming out and the thousands of people that are playing it. Like, there's no advertising, there's no whatnot, but you're going to have a solid, strong gaming community anyway. And to me, that's more important. I don't care if it's 100 people. I don't care if it's 10. If it's fun, which is what you guys are doing, it's fun, right? But you're not out there on billboards going, come download our free pack of PlayStation 2 fighting games shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like I said, I don't mean any disrespect, but there's no competition. But there doesn't have to be. Both can exist, together, because you're going to have people that love, all the new fighting games. You're going to have people that love everything like we do. And then you're going to have the people that love the old stuff and don't like the new stuff, right? And it's not like them playing the new stuff is stopping them playing the old stuff is stopping them playing the new stuff, right? They just don't have any interest, So it's sort of, there's a few arguments there, but ultimately, I prefer, from everything that you've told me about what you guys do, sounds very welcoming, and it sounds like a great community to be a part of, that we get to now experience decades later these games, in an online environment, and I get to sit here in my underwear and not offend anyone, right? Because no one can see. I can't do that at the arcade. I can't do that with my friends around.
Wouldn't recommend that, but
no.
I mean, I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time for everyone who gets in on voice chat, and they realise that, hey, we're all just friends here. We're all just having a good time, and we're all here to have a laugh and talk crap and play games, and that's what it's about. And sometimes we just chill out and we might watch TV or whatever. But share, go on YouTube and share funny videos. It's whatever, it's really whatever you want it to be. But once I think there's the excitement when you've never had the chance to play a game before and you get to share it. That first experience with your friends, your friends probably know more about it than you, and so you get to share the experience of your first time playing this fighting game. It's a really exciting time to be had, and to be able to teach people. I mean, it was only a couple of days ago I was teaching people how to parry in Third Strike, how to parry certain moves. They've never, they might have accidentally parried a couple of times, but they've never actually sat there and gone, right, I'm going to do this on purpose. So that was a fun experience to be able to teach people how to parry in Third Strike and how to play the game properly. So it's not only that, but ignoring the game for a second, even once the novelty of first time playing this game wears off, it's exciting to be able to play these games like you've never played before online in an online setting with a friendly community, a welcoming friendly community. But once that wears off, it's more about the community itself. It's like in a weird way, I know this sounds a bit strange, but in a weird way the games almost take a backseat, and then it starts becoming, okay, what are we going to do today, guys? You catch up, you make friends. That's really what it's about. You meet people like yourself. The games sort of take a bit of a backseat after a while, but I think we're okay with that. We accept that, and that is cool. There's no pressure.
That was kind of like, and that's kind of how it is when you hang out. Like, it's sort of, you get into that rhythm of just hanging out on the Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, and then it's like, oh, what do you feel like playing? And you just look through your games and go, okay, yeah, we'll throw that on, and it's sort of
exactly.
the sort of the game kind of it's really weird because you're focused because you're playing it, but it didn't become the focal point of the night. It was kind of like, some people sit around drinking, or some people sit around playing, or stand around playing pool. So for guys like us, it was sitting around playing video games. And you sit there and talk shit and tell your friend that you ain't gonna get any pussy and just stuff like that. And it was fucking funny, like, and that was what was cool about it. And you will remember, like, it was I remember those times, man. I just doing that with friends and that, and it's part of, obviously, like, as you get older, people drift apart and stuff like that, but that's the great thing about the internet, is that now
exactly
with what you're doing, and obviously lots of people do it, but what you're doing with this is you're creating a fighting game community that people can join in and experience stuff that they used to play, or bring in new people. And I think that's awesome. Like, when I saw, like I said, like the 3D era of MK games being played online, I'm like, nah, what the fuck, and I had to look into it, and then I hit you up, because I thought, wow, like, I knew about SRKade and using just the ROMs, like the arcade ROMs and stuff, but I had no idea that this was actually happening. And I've had my PS2 emulator for fuck knows how long, like I just never thought of it, and now I find out today through you that they're working on a their own private sort of a PlayStation network for PS3, and that's just so cool. I just, it blows me away, like, when no disrespect, but there's console people out there that go, well, what games you got to play on PC? And it's like, really? Like, dude, like, you have no idea. Even if you didn't play them online, the fact that you've got access to emulation, and playing stuff like that, and then you got the online aspect. Like, that's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I think we're all pretty much geeks. We all love emulation. It's all we bloody talk about. We don't shut up about it. But even if it's like we're running an event and it's serious, it could be that, or it could be we are sitting around Friday night watching some Mortal Kombat Annihilation, getting a bit tipsy, having some beers or whatever. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, my son actually does that. He does that he's got a few like good friend circle online, in Australia, but in different states, and they get on there and they watch like movies together and things like that. It's really cool to see, So it definitely does work, and can make people, especially with what's been going on the last couple of years, it definitely make people not feel as alone and cut off, as they might feel. But I'm looking at my PS2 fighting games. I'm trying to see. So now, Virtual Fighter have you guys looked into Virtual Fighter at all?
I mean, it's funny. You're looking at our channel now. I reckon because this video that we're looking at with CBS2 that went on for half an hour, just over. But I reckon maybe if you're able to skip to 1 or 2 over, you might see some Virtual Fighter 4 Evo being played online, because we did that at like the start of SRKade. We played a bunch of Evo via 4 Evo online, and now recently, because of the PlayStation Network, we're playing Virtual Fighter 5 Final Showdown. We definitely need to do more Virtual Fighter. It is lacking. You've caught me out there.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But,
listen. I know it'll look a little bit funny on the screen. I'll just go to your page, and
yeah, that's fine. Go for it, because that way you'll be able to like pick out the.
See if I can find it.
Yeah. It's like one of the first things that we did. We did like Virtual Fighter.
All right, hang on. I'll sort it by oldest then. Oh, yeah. Yep, there we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I got a bit pissed because the Virtual Fighter 5, is it Final Showdown? Is that what they called it?
Yeah, Final Showdown on PS3, yeah.
Yeah, so they remastered it and stuck it on PS4 only. And I'm really hoping, dude, that, like, that was just like some sort of timed shit, because I'd fucking love that on PC. And just locking it to the PS4 just seems like really like stupid. I mean, I'm sure you can play it on PS5 because it's backwards compatible, but still, like, like that sort of game just should be everywhere, and they make a fuck ton of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people like the Ultimate Showdown thing. I mean, there's graphical lighting and balance changes to Ultimate Showdown.
Yeah.
So it's a new thing and people prefer it. That's totally understandable. If that's your thing, go and rock with that and have fun with it. But I mean, for me, this was incredibly exciting because I loved Final Showdown. It was like my favorite thing. It was the music, it was like the costumes, the DLC and all that. It was just awesome. The fact that we can sit and play Final Showdown on our PC, you no longer have to go out and buy a PS3 or 360. Go on the net, go on like Xbox Live or PSN for those consoles, and then find that no one's online. Again, it's super. Anyone with a PC that with a good spec PC can come to us, download this pack, play Virtual Fighter online, and then when it comes to us running an event, everyone with a PC and a good computer can play Virtual Fighter 5 Final Showdown online.
Yeah.
It's just it's just like a why not? Why not go for it and do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember playing shit, man. I still remember trying out Virtual Fighter 1 in the arcade. And it just blew me away because that was like the start of 3D fighters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we started seeing, Tekken, Soul Calibur, coming out after that. But I've always had a soft spot, and because I've always been a Sega fanboy,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Nintendo. Like, yeah, I play Nintendo, but like Sega was huge in Australia, so that was pretty much my jam, and I've always loved Sega, always will. So, there's always going to be a soft spot for those, the Daytonas, the virtual racing, the virtual fighters, Virtual On, for fuck's sake. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, that's good that you bring that up, because again, that's another thing, thinking about the PlayStation 3 emulator and the games that run online.
Yeah.
We tested them, we spent hours testing them. It was even testing them, whether they worked or not, it was a blast. It was so much fun to sit around and do with the VIPs, my team. But yeah, we had Final Showdown working online, and then we got Daytona USA. That works. So
nice.
Like you can do a
fuck yeah, man. Oh shit.
I think it goes up to 8 people. I don't remember, but yeah, Daytona works online. You can get people in a lobby and do that. Daytona USA is in our download pack, so if you want to grab that, then go ahead, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Play that with your mates. Yeah, and then what else? You can do Virtual Fighter 2. You can do now. This was a tricky one. We did you say Virtual On. Found out that was that was on PSN, but it was Japan only. Virtual On was Japan only, which is crazy. But we got it. It was really hard to track down the Japanese PlayStation 3 version of Virtual On, but we got it. And guess what? It works online. You know.
Jesus.
You got lobby and matchmaking and everything. So yeah, it was just really lucky because Virtual Fighter 2, Virtual On, and Daytona and that they are Team AM2 games. And what happened with AM2, like I think even Sonic the Fighters and Fighting Vipers was on this emulator as well.
Oh yeah.
Because AM2, when it came to the PS3, AM2 made an emulator to run Virtual Fighter 2, Sonic the Fighters, Fighting Vipers, and Virtual On. Yeah. It all runs under the same AM2 emulator on the PS3 console. So we just got really lucky that it was the same netcode and they all work.
Yeah.
Like, that was incredibly lucky. I think a lot of people were quite happy about that. But yeah, crazy times.
AM2 was a beast. AM2 was a fucking beast, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I even have, and I'll never get rid of it. I've got an old System 16 emulator, right? Just because I know I can play this shit on MAME. I get that, I do, right? Yeah. But I look at the list and I see, Outrun, Moonwalker, Alien Syndrome, Alien Storm, Altered Beast, Fantasy Zone, Golden Axe, Hang On, Heavyweight Champ, Shinobi, Shadow Dancer, Space Harrier, and
oh yeah.
And then I think speaking of Daytona, somebody made like a standalone high def version of Daytona USA. I'll just load it up. It was because I love Daytona USA on the PS3. I loved playing it. It was really fun. It was a really good port, and the HD and the frame rate's really good as well. But I tell you what, like playing Daytona USA, I mean that was the first time I'd ever played Daytona. Yep. And to be able to play Daytona online for the first time, playing the game for the first time as well, but online on this PS3 emulator, and the lobby system just was so clean and it just worked. Yeah,
that was just awesome, man. I think a lot of people love the PS3 stuff, like especially with Third Strike and these other games, because the lobby system and the menu design is just so clean and it's so easy to do that it's just so user friendly. Anyone can jump in. It looks good, it sounds good, and it's fun. It just works.
Now, in theory, you could do this. So if there was because I like reviewing a lot of Mugen releases. I try and review ones that are pretty much complete. So I'm not just reviewing one that's got like 2 characters. But I review a lot, and I've got a lot of MK ones. In theory, could you technically run a Mugen game through your system and play that online? Is that possible or not?
It's something I've looked into. I mean, Mugen, it's a strange one. It's difficult to deal with because obviously it's its own engine, and Mugen never had netcode, as far as I know. It never had online. There was a weird, copy of Mugen. I can't pronounce it. It's like IKE something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it tried to be Mugen and it had delay-based netcode. Yep. So, people would have to port, their assets in game from the Mugen engine to that other engine, and then that way it would sort of be, but that would just be far too time-consuming. So with the Mugen scene, people tend to just use Parsec because it just works. It just works, and it's the easiest option. So I've definitely looked into it. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Mugen. It tends to be, I don't know, in my opinion, just a real clusterfuck. Maybe that's why people enjoy it. I don't know. Do your thing. I'm not gonna rain on your parade there.
Yeah.
But
all I because I never actually play the Mugen games. I only go into watch mode because like I was saying, I think before the stream, me and my friends back in the day, we you know, put our characters in, and we'd have like fucking Scorpion versus like Krusty the Clown, or you know, Pac-Man versus Super Vegeta from Dragon Ball, you know, and we sit there and we sit back like watching like a UFC fight, and make bets about who was going to win. And it was so cool. We'd be yelling and screaming, and you know, because the computer AI would just fight each other, and if you put it on the hardest difficulty, they just go mental. So that's that's what I wanted to bring to my Fate channel as well, which was, you know, I've got a couple on there, which is what I call Fate Nights, like a fight night, where I'm chosen like 2 characters and then made it best of 3 fights. But hopefully, if I get bigger, I'd love to be able to do it like it live, you know, so people are in the chat choosing characters that they can see on screen, you know, and then doing that. And like, so with you, so you know, because of what you're doing, have you thought about like doing more of that through YouTube, like doing live through YouTube, and you know, sort of building up even further? Because you got obviously a YouTube channel, which I'll put in the description for you guys to check out. But have you thought more about what you could do with YouTube to bring more attention to it, or you know, anything like that?
From what I understand, the YouTube audience is a bit different to the Twitch audience. You know, so it would be good to meet new people and meet a new audience. I certainly agree with you there. It's not something that I've actually looked into yet. I mean, it has come up in conversation many times with, like, you know, streamers that are, you know, much bigger than you know, myself, that have more experience, and you know.
That's okay though. Like I mean, I don't care. Like, I mean, I'm only a tiny channel, but if I can help, you know, get people noticing what you're doing, you know, that's all I care about. You know, like I just wish I was bigger, because, like, you know, I fucking love, like, community. You know, when I first started doing YouTube a long time ago with one of my original channels, it was different time on YouTube. You know, it's just off topic for a sec, but you know, we would give each other shout outs, and we do reply videos to each other, and you know, and it sort of built the community up, and then it changed, and then everyone's kind of out for themselves. So, you know, I love talking about this, you know, not because I'm trying to get bigger, because it's just fucking cool. You know, I get to meet people that, you know, I didn't know existed, that were doing things that I didn't know existed, you know, that they're playing these old games online. And it's like, fuck yeah, I want to do that, you know. And if I think that hopefully there's one other person out there that's like, oh shit, that's really cool, I might check that out too, you know. So I love that aspect of you know, bringing together. I think it's one of the reasons why I like Maximilian. You know, because he's just
absolutely.
He just seems like the dude that would be like us, just sit there, chill out, fucking yell and scream. You know, when you're fighting each other. You know, he seems like such a chill dude, and it's, you know, especially when you get that big, it's kind of rare. So I really
it's extremely rare. I agree. I mean, I've been watching, I mean, I know people have been watching Max longer than me, probably since day one. I found Max in 2013.
Yeah.
You know, I've been watching him for quite a while. You know, you sort of seen him grow and the audience grow, and he's only gotten bigger as the years have gone on. You know, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
Yeah.
You know, it's so well deserved, but he's also put in a lot of hard work, you know, teaching people how to play fighting games and introducing them to these games. But yeah, I think it's such a wonderful, awesome thing, because even the small interaction that I have had with him, just, you know, a thank you for a donation that I've given, or when he retweeted some of our tweets, that definitely helped us to grow. So I can't thank him enough. You know, whether he knows that or not, I don't know, but him and some of the other people in the scene around him are really cool. And
Justin's cool.
Know, Justin's very cool. I do, you know, I've had a couple chats, you know, briefly over a couple messages online, but I have a lot of respect for those people, you know, and It's crazy because I watched a lot of Evo, the Evo Championships. I used to watch it every year up until 2013, and but yeah, to be following people that you sort of look up to over in America in the fighting game community, and I mean, I'm just one guy in the UK. I'm trying to build a scene. Obviously there is a fighting game scene, in London and Manchester. I'm down south. I'm not near London or Manchester, really. So over where I am, there is nothing. So it is online play or don't bother, you know. So the fact that little old me from a small town, is interacting with people that I've looked up to and been following for years in this fighting game community, and the fact that they're, saying hi to me on Twitter or like giving a retweet, that is a big deal for me. And the fact that they're looking at my project with SRKade and they're going, hey man, that's pretty cool, I'll give you a retweet. That means a lot to me. That's really cool, and I appreciate it. That's pretty immense.
I really sort of I really gravitate towards down to earth people, because I've seen people get big, and on YouTube and they just turn to shit, and then I've seen other people get big and they're just still the same, and I think that's why they're so successful, is because they're just normal, they're just like, I love this thing, this is cool, and that's it. When I interviewed the dude that's the head of iBallistic and is doing the MK Trilogy remake, and and he's approached Boone a couple of times over the years, and it seems like Boone's on board, but Warner Brothers ain't buying it. So I've heard that. When I saw it it pop up, I reached out and said, man, I'm listen, man, you can fucking pimp me out. I will advertise your shit. I don't give a fuck. Because if I can help, because Trilogy was one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. So, and I've seen the work that they've done, and it is just fucking mind blowing. And so,
it's incredible. It's incredible.
And I think to myself, well, it's kind of almost like when Super Street Fighter 2 HD first came out back on PS3 or PSN.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal.
I was like, dude, that's fucking clean as shit. How fucking clean is that? And so so I want to, I don't, I'm excited obviously for new, fighting games from these companies, but it's what you're doing, it's what iBallistic are doing that I think is really awesome, because there's a massive interest and a massive group of people like us out there who just fondly remember these old fighting games. And if your project and what iBallistic are trying to do reach, and get more people on board, then they get to they can relive those days, and that's really cool. I love that. I think that'd be fucking awesome. So yeah, if there's anything I can do, like I said, I'm only tiny, but if there's anything I can do to help, if you've made some new thing or some progress or whatever, then yeah, man, fucking, if you want me to cover it, I can cover it, because it's been a blast talking to you, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you too, man.
And it's just good to talk to like-minded people, and people that don't cry because somebody said a nasty word on Twitter. It's a nice change, man. You know what I mean?
No, we're just normal. We're just normal people. We just want to get together, meet new people, make friends, maybe crack a joke every now and then, and just play some games. It's really just a passion project, and I think to even sit here and say that, genuinely how I feel, I think I'm even shocked and surprised that my project has gone this far and been noticed this much, even just a little bit, because, Yeah. You say like it's people find retro games very interesting, and that's definitely true. But I still find that this isn't like a pity, boo-hoo, poor me, sort of thing. I don't want to say that, but I still feel like even though it's been a quite a smooth journey, it's still not really easy to build a community and to grow an audience with it. Because people, like I said, the new fighting game comes out. It could be I don't know, MK15 or whatever it could be coming out, and obviously the new fighting game is going to be more interesting and grab. Obviously, that's a given. It's going to be more interesting and grab people's attention over a tiny Discord project. Obviously, I do appreciate that. I'm not silly, but it's difficult. Maximilian obviously has worked very hard. He deserves it, and he's got a huge audience. And when he plays, a retro fighting game, it's a big deal, and everyone totally loves it. But it's not the same when a smaller group does it. That makes a lot of sense. I do get that.
Yeah.
But you have to, if you want to get somewhere with retro fighting games, you have to really work your ass off.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm trying to do. I'm definitely going to try and put in more effort with it this year. But yeah, we really just want to reach out to people. Even, if there's like other groups, that are bigger than us, I do try and say, get involved with them, chat with them on stream and say, maybe, hey, let's do something together. You're playing, I don't know, Street Fighter 3, or you're playing, MK2. Well, we love MK2. Why don't you come over to SRKade and do something with us, run an event, let's advertise, let's get it out there, because trust me, retro gaming fucking needs it. It desperately needs attention and people playing these games,
It's an interesting thing because, like, when you look at other genres, of gaming, especially, for example, like racing games. So a lot of people still play a lot of the old, F1 Legends racing games and, older NASCAR versions and stuff because they can heavily modify them and, people are still doing mod packs for them and stuff like that. Because all of those games had online, at least an online feature, so you can still race. And what you're doing, even though it's niche, but it's also unique and brand new because a lot of these older retro games never had an online game. An online feature. And yet you're able to take them and make it online. Whereas most other genres have been able to survive, because they've had an online feature baked in with these older communities, either older MMOs, older shooting games, older racing games, but fighting games is different, right? So even though they didn't have it, you guys have worked really hard to create a feature that didn't exist for these games. But the feature is so good that it can cover anything from these older systems. Because obviously, it's working for fighting games, but as you said, if it's got a 2-player component or whatever, whatever it is. And I think that's really cool. So while it's niche, but it's not, because it's also like, it's got that, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just different, but it's a great different, because it's one of the genres that has been neglected when it comes to having an online feature as part of its core, makeup of its development. Only in recent, maybe the last decade, and then maybe you had a couple of spotty releases on the PS2 that might have had online, accessibility. But prior, with all of that, most of the games, fighting games, never had that. So you either played by yourself, played with your friends when they came over, and or if there was an arcade version, you played that at the local arcade. And now, you're able to take games that never had any of that and expose them to an audience that never even thought it was possible. And now it's literally like, to me, it's like Christmas, right? To me, it's like that. I can look at any fighting game and go, we could play this online, right? And that's cool as hell, dude. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think we definitely have a lot to thank, to think of all the thousands of people and developers that have spent time probably in their fucking bedrooms, sitting there, taking the time to code this and work on this. And, no doubt, I mean, I know the modern thing now is to set up a Patreon and to get paid for this work. And that's definitely, contribute where you can and pay the developers, when you can. That's the least we can all do, I feel, to donate, £1 or £2, or even a £5. you know, just to give some money, just say
Yeah.
thank you, you know, buy them coffee, whatever. Yeah, that's the least we can do. But these developers have gone unpaid. These people have studied at university or done whatever. You know, fucking that's years of someone's life
Yeah.
just to make a PS2 emulator and probably not really get any credit. You know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work for nothing. And it's thanks to them, and it's thanks to the Dolphin team and all that we're even able to do this. So, you know, that's a huge thanks to them. Like I said, we really take the piss by coming in at the last minute, swooping it up, and say, "Oh, hey guys, we're doing this." You know, it's a bit of a piss take, but you know, really, I make it very, you know, I don't think I'd get away with it, even if I wanted to, you know, lie and do a fib. But no, I make no secret of the fact I can't code. I don't know C++. You know, I don't. I'm not brainy enough to be doing that. You know, I'm not. I just, like I said, if anything, just look at us as a gaming community. Just look at us as, you know, people like you. You know, look at us. You know, we're just people who love these games, and I'm passionate about these games. And while there are emulation groups out there who will play every, you know, game under the sun, and they'll do net play, there's thousands of retro gaming Discord communities that do online play. But I couldn't find one 2 years ago. I couldn't find a Discord community that played PS2 fighting games. I couldn't find a Discord community that specifically played, you know, Time Splitters online, or, you know, fucking, I don't know, just, you know, these Jack X Combat Racing, Twisted Metal Black. I couldn't find communities in the games that I wanted to play, so I made my own, and I made my own community. And it just so happened that a couple of people noticed, and here we are, you know, over 1,000 people, just over 1,000, and they want to play the games and hang out with me and the rest of the guys. And I couldn't be, you know, I think I'm proud of it, proud of the community that I built. I'm going to keep going, and you know, like I said, anyone's welcome. You know, if you want to play the weird games that no one else will touch, we are the, you know, the place for you. I proudly will sit here and say we fucking played Deception online.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the best flying game, but fucking hell, is it fun? You know.
Yeah, like that's all that matters, man. It's like, you know, I think that's something that modern fighting games to a degree have forgotten. You know, when I reviewed MK Armageddon tonight on this channel, and you know, Creator Fighter, Motor Combat, you know, and I think back to Deception with, you know, Puzzle Combat, Chess Combat, you know.
Oh yeah.
We don't, you know, and then of course you've got this, you know, Test Your Might, Test Your Sight, all the Test Your Might type esque games that they brought in MK9. You know, they've been left to the wayside, you know, in MK10, and then even further so in MK11. You know, we have, you know, arenas in MK, the 3D eras, which you could kill someone instantly. You know, that felt like a Mortal Kombat game. That felt like you could, you know, it wasn't just the character, you know, your opponent you had to look out for. You had to look out for for where you were. You know, mind your surroundings. You know, as fucking Liam Neeson would say to the dude in, you know, Batman movie, right? And you know, and that's you know, and all of these really awesome things that made the game fun have been replaced, at least in the MK universe, with this ultra realistic fatality system. You know, and that's kind of the only gimmick they have left. And then they add on top of that, oh, we have to make it as balanced as possible. Like, I don't give a fuck about like, yeah, obviously you're not going to have like some OP character, but you know, part of, you know, like when I used to play Trilogy, of course people that choose Noob Saibot in Trilogy, right, they know that it doesn't matter even if you block his fireball, you're going to be rendered useless. You can't block, you can't do shit, right? But you know, rather than bitch about it, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to make sure that I can fuck them up. You know, I'm going to work around, you know, that, you know, and beat them. And you do, right?
Yeah.
Now they like micromanage everything. Oh, we can't have this, you know, this way or this that way. And it's like, man, you're just ripping the fun out of what made a fighting game fun. So who gives a fuck if Deception isn't like balanced, or, you know, feels a bit hokey or whatever? Who cares, man? It's fun.
It's got a lot of buggy problems. It's got a lot of shit that you just can't block or can't stop, but it's definitely fun, and it's it's a good time. It's a good time. But yeah, fighting games have definitely changed, and so has the landscape. But yeah, no, like I said, it's real simple. Over in our Discord, it's just, I love these classic games and I want people to play them, and I want to find people that share the same love and passion for these fighting games that I do. So
Yeah.
whether we're playing a game of, I definitely been lacking again with PS2 LAN stuff. So I definitely want to bring back, Twisted Metal Black, Jack X Combat Racing, Time Splitters. I want to bring back the weird games, get people playing them because it's a good time. It's a really, really good time. Even, we played Windjammers or like Neo Turf Masters.
Oh, nice.
Masters.
Yep.
We'll touch fucking even Virtua Tennis. It's great fun. I couldn't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'd even play DDRX. On the PS2.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't care, man. It's fun. We all love these games, and I'm just, like I said, just going back to even the beginning. I'm just amazed that anyone wants to. It's just awesome that people like the same games and they want to sit and play games with me, mate. Because it's just awesome.
So going back to just looking at my Discord with the setup guides. So technically speaking, if whether you download MAME or PS2 emulator, PS3 emulator, or Dolphin, right? Those emulators, along with using the VPN, will grant you access, to get online with whichever game you have to, that you decide that you want to play multiplayer with. Is that correct? Just in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah. So sorry. So when it comes to NoDC Bear, just picking out examples that use the VPN.
Yep.
NoDC Bear. Obviously, Radman VPN isn't like your traditional VPN that hides your internet usage. It's not like that kind of VPN. It's more of it emulates LAN. Like tricking your router to thinking that people are on your network. Same thing like Xenkai does. Yeah, exactly. Like Hamachi or Xenkai, it's the same thing. But rather than being open to like the massive public, Radman, we've got a private Radman VPN network that is just for us.
Nice.
So it's gonna run a little bit smoother and better online. We use, NoDC Bear works using Radman. So you find people that are on your network or on a public network.
Yep.
We also, so it's required for NoDC Bear, but it's also required for PS2 LAN games. So again, it's LAN tunneling. It's tricking your emulator to thinking that people are on the same router as yourself. So that's where with PS2 LAN, it's going to be Time Splitters 2 and 3. It's going to be, I don't know, off the top of my head. I mean, I might even have to. It's been such a long time, to be honest with you. Let's just pick out some titles here. Here we go. So the games we support on the PS2 LAN list: DDRX, Jack X, Midnight Club 2, Midnight Club 3, Outrun 2006, Time Splitters 2, Future Perfect, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, Twisted Metal Black Online. And of course, the list doesn't stop there. Any game that has System Link on the PS2 that works over LAN, you can do it on this setup. We've just picked out our favourite games, but if you want to do, I don't know, I think there's a tennis game that has LAN called Top Spin. If you want to do Top Spin, fucking load it up. It's going to work.
That's so good. I just can't get over the tech. Do you know what I mean? Like, it must have been amazing.
It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, And it even sorry, just interrupting you.
No, that's all right.
Even there's the PS2 stuff is insane. I mean, just touching on one other thing. There's a group of people out there, a Discord community and developers that are working on reviving Burnout 3 Takedown for the PS2. That's been worked on.
Don't tease me, man. Tease me, dude.
There's developers working to revive Xbox Live 1.0 for the original Xbox. So, come late this year, you'll probably be playing your original Xbox online like it was 2004, man. So you'll be playing your fucking, I don't know, Halo 2, your fucking, I don't know, Mech Assault. What other games are good on Xbox Live?
Oh shit, can't think. That's crazy.
There's so many things in development. It's crazy. You got Project Insignia, which is going to be Xbox Live for the original Xbox.
Yeah.
That's coming. That's being made. You've got Burnout 3 for the PS2 coming online. You've got, I think there might even be Auto Model Lisa coming online again.
Oh, wow.
The EA games like SSX3 is going to be worked on. there's Need for Speed. There's a Need for Speed Underground server for the PS2 and PC that you can cross-play with.
Fuck.
There's so much out there to do. It's overwhelming. It's crazy. But sorry, dude. What were you gonna say?
I can't remember, but I do have another question. So, okay,
Yeah.
with the Radman VPN, you said, like I'm just having a squizzy here, right? Can
Yeah.
something like that be baked into the other the other packages? So if you download the PS2 Quick Start one, can Radman VPN be baked into it? So as you're doing the install and running it for the first time, it launches and then takes you through the process? Can something like that be done? I'm just lazy.
I mean,
I'm just asking.
I mean, when it comes to like that, I mean, PS2 and ODC Bear, the LAN stuff. Obviously, Radman is a LAN network emulator thing, like a VPN.
Yeah.
So, I include the Radman setup EXE in the PS2 pack, and I include it in ODC Bear because obviously you need it to go online. So I include it there, but that is as much as baked in, I guess, as we can sort of call it. I can't obviously make it, launch when you install the whole thing, but I tell people if you want to go online, you need to install this EXE and then join our network. But yeah, anything LAN, Radman VPN and back in the day Hamachi. With Hamachi, it's limited. I think even now, I think it caps out at 4 people, and if you want more, you have to pay. Whereas Radman VPN go up to 255 in a room in a network.
Fucking hell!
And you don't have to pay for it. You just make another network and you call it, I don't know, SRKade 2, and it's the second. So you can double for free.
Yeah.
So 255 people in a network. Add as many networks as you like. And yeah, the fucking doors are open, man. You can do PS2 online LAN. You can do Xbox Original because the Xbox Original emulator is being worked on. So again, that's more shit for you to play. You can LAN play PS2, Xbox, and like I said, we do LAN night every now and then. So I give the guys a copy of Unreal Tournament 99, Quake 3 Arena, UTO4.
Oh
and,
my god!
We even play Modern Warfare 2 every now and then, and we do that over Radman, and it works a treat. It works great. You don't ever have to worry about some random idiot hacker joining your lobby because it's a private network. So it's just you guys.
Dude, I fucking still play Unreal Tournament 2004, right? I like because I had the original. I've still got the original install discs for PC, and then I rebought it on Steam. But my folder was like fully modded. Like I had all of these fucking map packs and skin packs and shit, like Mortal Kombat characters and crap, And so
it's funny. It's funny you say that because I'm looking for people to help me, and I'm thinking the Australian community, like Total MK and maybe yourself, might be able to help. But there's been a pack that's been lost to time, and I've recovered some maps, but they don't work, and I don't, I've put them in my UT4 folder and UT99 folder. Some do, but most of it doesn't. But there was a thing called Unreal Combat, and there's like a bunch of Mortal Kombat maps made where you can fight on Deception. You can fight on MK Deception Prison, MK Deception Acid Bath, not Acid Bath, MK4, like a bunch of MK4 stages, and they're accurate to the actual fighting games themselves. So it's just crazy, but yeah, I'm just sorry. You just brought that up, and I was like, yeah, man, fucking thought I'd mention that.
No, that's okay. So how much do you love me?
Well, I just met you. I mean, maybe I don't know, dude.
Because I have them.
A seafood.
I have them.
A seafood. Maybe a seafood dinner first and a glass of wine, maybe. But I mean, if you have them, man, fucking, I couldn't thank you enough.
And not only that, I used to, not now, but I used to talk to the guy that made them. Right.
Oh, bloody hell! Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember how that happened. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna see if I can stream it. I'm gonna see if I can add the game, so then that way right now live, I can. Did I have a game capture in there? No, I didn't. There we go. so I can show you, right? Because
Gotcha.
I used to talk to the guy that like did it back in the day, and the fucking levels that he made are just like ridiculous. I'll see. I don't know. Is that maybe it's game cache is not going to work. Maybe I have to do window. Sometimes, depending on the age of the game, and because I use Streamlab, I either have to like capture it via like a lot of emulators won't work through game capture. You got to use window capture. Which is
I know that one.
I don't know why though. Actually, that's really bizarre.
It's just the way that it is. But I mean, because the videos are still up on YouTube and they're only from 2014, 2015, but the files are deleted, and it's like, I went to an old fucking message board and I found some of them. I put them in my UTO-4 folder, but they just don't show up, and it's so sad because the videos that are online by the developer, he's fucking fighting in the MK3 graveyard, and he's got the textures ripped from the game and the music, and he's got the MK Gold characters in there. He's on even MK Mythology stages. He's made 3D versions that are using the game's actual textures. He's what else is there that's like mind blowing? MK2 Armory. It's just insane. But trying to find him, you can't get him anymore, man. So.
All right, so hang on. I'm just gonna hang on. Where'd that fucking go? It's disappeared. Hang on. There we go. Right. I'm just trying to get the window working. Hopefully. Is that gonna work? All right, here we go. All right, so if you're looking at the stream, right?
Where are we?
So we'll go team deathmatch, naturally. And where are they all listed?
Doesn't seem like it's at the front. We can still see the YouTube video.
It might take a little bit to kick in. I think there's like a 20-second or something delay.
Oh, here we go. Oh, that's true. Yeah, here we go.
All right. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we got. There's no. You know what? I'm gonna just load up each level, right? Because what is it? Fucking. Hang on. What's my game rules? What about everything set? Oh, that's gonna be batshit crazy. 31 bots. Fuck yeah, bring it on. All right, here we go. Right. Here we go.
Oh, holy shit! You do actually have them. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
So I'll do. Actually, I won't actually fight. I'll just do a walkthrough. So what he actually managed to do with a lot of these stages was combine like an MK2 stage, so like the Deadpool stage for this one, and then he actually included the MK3 version as well, which is really fucking awesome. And then have like connective tissue of you know what would look like if you were moving between the two, what corridors would there be, and stuff like that. Like I actually should do a video, a separate video so people can see, and maybe try and figure out a way to have the files, because I know you want them, right? So I have to. I think Unreal files were fairly easy. I think it's just like, I think
they're pretty easy.
Yeah,
you can just zip them up in a RAW file and they'll work. But I mean, it's interesting because this is I think I only found 2 maps, and this one was the first one that I found that actually worked. So I think I have an older version of that map there, but the rest of them, no, they're lost to time.
Yeah,
just can't fucking find them anymore.
Yeah, no. So I got like the Portal, the 3D version. I think came in Deception.
Oh, holy shit! You do.
Wow. That and there's the fucking right the what's it called, the fucking priest dude floating around and shit like that.
Oh, that's like MK2, isn't it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Right. And then what have we got next? What's next on the?
Sorry, you had to excuse me. I'm just shocked that these were you've actually got them. Like this is. You can't get this anymore.
No, I know. Like that's what I mean. Like when you started talking about it, I'm like, nah, is he fucking talking about that? So we got the courtyard, right? So normally the courtyard looks like, front on, and you'll see it pop on the screen. And then you got like the side bits that he's added in, which is like really cool. And you can go up the back, where it's got like a jetty here, where, obviously where Shang Tsung's boat would come in. Stuff like that. And I think actually the courtyard I think it might have been a combination of the palace gates, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Oh my god.
I don't know what happened to this dude, but yeah, I used to talk to him like back in the day, and you know it was fucking crazy. Goro's lair, dude. Fucking
That's true.
Goro's lair, right? So eventually you'll see
Yeah,
it.
that looked amazing. That
Right.
looked amazing. I remember that.
The you can actually shoot Goro, and he roars. So if you shoot him where he is like up top, he actually like goes rah, you know, and like roars, which is like really fucking cool. And then you got like the side areas and shit like that. Like he even did, and you'll see it in a minute. Like he actually did that prison level from Deception. You know that really fucking cool prison level, right?
Yeah, I grabbed that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I grabbed that one. That was insane. That was insane.
So
Going to the death trap into the fatality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, so we got Palace Gates is actually a separate one. Here we go. So he's actually so normally the Palace Gates, let me get it right. Yeah, so normally it's like that front on view. You'll see it. I know there's probably a bit of a delay.
Yeah, that's quite delayed, but
So, you know, and then but you've got like all around it, so you can, you know, go outside of it and go around the front or the back, which is pretty cool. So some of these ones are a little bit more concise. You know, they don't have like multiple areas depending, you know, and that's probably a good thing. So that way it's not too stupid, you know,
yeah,
for it.
good size map.
But
Yeah,
just the work that he did on it is just there's been nothing like it.
It's insane. This is a whole new level of detail as well. This is
And he did,
a lot of love put into this.
you know, he did the pit one, right?
That's right. That is right. Yeah.
Right, and you can go right down the bottom. There's jump pads and stuff to get back up, and there's like side side sort of like areas that you can go back up again. You know, past that you can get up. But like the painstaking details.
That is beautiful. That blue sky is so accurate. The lighting.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, mate. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
No, that's all right. So yeah, if you got Unreal Tournament 2004, just like I said, I think it's pretty easy, and hopefully all the files will be like marked. You know, I'm not so worried about the maps. It's just like anything else, like the sound files. I want to make sure that I get everything, and of course, they had all the sound effects too and things like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And we got the Warrior Shrine from MK1. You know, they're all in there. Although the apart from Goro, they're just sort of like generic ones, you know, for the statues. But that's okay. Like, you know, shit, it's better than nothing. So, and of course, when you got like some of the Mortal Kombat skins, you know, as well, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I couldn't find the MK Gold models. I mean, I like I said, I've got some of these files, but you know, I had to go through this whole. Because for some reason, the copy of the files that I've got there, they've got some encryption on them or something that's specific to Unreal Tournament, and I had to decrypt them and extract them. But when I extracted them and decrypted them using the Unreal Tournament tool, and I put them in my game, they don't show up. They just don't. So like they're broken files.
Yeah.
So
so we got the Living Forest as well.
That was the big one. The big one was the Living Forest and the Graveyard as well. That is just insane.
Really nice sort of lighting and effects and stuff.
Definitely.
It's just, you know, and some of the faces actually work too. You know, that they roar and stuff, which is cool. Like I don't know. Oh, shit, man, the amount of work that he put into these is just fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a separate video. You know, just to showcase, and probably like do a separate video for each level. You know, so that way, like, I can do a fly through and then do a playthrough. And then you got the tower. Now, the tower was especially, I really liked, you know, because you had the standard sort of front on view, and then you had like, you'd walk off left or right, and then you got like a little balcony with a little pathway that you can come down, you know. So I
haven't seen this one.
And then you can see like, you can see like pit bridges in the back. You know, stuff like that. So, no, this is, I'm going to have to, is there like a website? I've never looked into it because I've never done it. But is there like a website where if I got all the files together, I can upload it, and then you can download it.
You just it's really really easy to do. You'd either just upload it to a Dropbox or you'd upload it to a Google Drive and you'd share that out, and then everyone could grab the files and archive it. There's one person in our group. I see that Squid Gamer is in the chat. He's one of our VIPs. He's a cool dude. But
Yep.
we've got another VIP that's super into Mortal Kombat. So I know they would love this and appreciate this.
So we got the armory.
Yeah,
so the armory, I think you start outside, and then you've got, so you come inside, and it almost literally feels like the stage. It's so good. They've done such a wonderful job. Like
yes, the armory. Yeah,
it's and the armory was actually my favorite stage from MK2. It always has been. And then you can go downstairs, right? So there's an underpart area for the armory. If you can see, like the furnaces and stuff.
Like the lighting. I don't even know how much work has gone into this, but you can it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, like he's,
Excuse me drooling over this map pack here, but like, for anyone that doesn't know, like I said, you can't get this anymore. You just can't grab it. It's not there. So like, holy shit.
No, here we go. We got the graveyard, right? So they've got some open tombs that you can go in and get some stuff.
An absolute banger of a map.
The lighting's really nice. I thought the lighting was really good for it. We've got some. Oh, it looks like some secret areas. I don't know how to get into them. It's even got the moon with the fast-moving clouds that go over it as well, which is pretty cool.
It does do it. Yeah.
So he's got that. No, it's really nice. Like really well done. Looks like you can get up there somehow. How do you get up there? It's just a pathway up, maybe, or you can just walk up. I don't know. Sniper rifle up there. So yeah, no, it's amazing, right? Whatever this dude did, like he created a piece of Mortal Kombat history that is rare now. So yeah, if I can get if I can get it together, hopefully not fuck it up. It should be easy because basically I should be able to create the folders that the files go into, and then get the files and put them in those folders, and then zip it up, and then all you literally do was just dump it into the main directory, and it would add them in.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All you got to do is just you got like your maps folder, then there's like a sound folder, textures folder. So you'd make sound map folder and all that, and then you drag and drop the files into that, and then upload that, and then it's for us guys, it would be a drag and drop, and it would work.
Yeah. And then the
only tough part is finding the audio files. That would be tough, but yeah.
Should be alright. Yeah, hopefully it won't be too bad, but they can be baked into the map though, can't they?
There should be, but I think I came across one or two. I don't know.
And then you've got the dark prison. So you've got the obviously the little slammy splatty thing there. You've got every single jail cell you can actually go into from behind. So you go out the main door. You got the top area too with more jail cells that you can gain access to. And this is one of the things that I love about these. Actually, let's have it. Since it's the last map, I'll fire it up and you run around and go crazy. But we don't get this sort of level of intimacy with the newer stages and the newer games. They're basically just there for aesthetics. Yeah, it looks really cool and pretty, but there's no functionality outside of like jumping on crap. I don't want to jump on crap. I don't want my game to feel like Injustice when it's a Mortal Kombat game. I want it to, so these sort of stages, oh shit. Is this fucking crazy?
Oh my
fucking
goodness.
hell.
Wow.
Right. There's Goro. Goro's in there. Subby, I think he's in there as well. So it's man, like, it's I'll definitely get it together. I will. And I want to make sure, and of course, like, if I get it together, I'll send it to you. And then, you know, if it works, then, you know, that way, you know, more people can download it. Because I don't want to do videos on it until I know it works. You've inspired me, right? So if it works with you, if I give you the files and they work straight away and they're having no problems, then I can start doing videos on it and then put a link in the description. You know, so then when people access it, then they won't run into any problems either. So.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, this is really, really awesome to see. But yeah, I mean, if you have trouble making a Dropbox or a Mediafire, or there's like Google Drive, Mediafire, and Dropbox are the main ones that people use to upload files. But if you have trouble, let me know and I can, you know, it's real easy to make an account and then just upload your files and share the link. It's not too hard to do. So
they shouldn't. They technically shouldn't be too hard. Let me just I'll jump back.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. I mean, it's just a couple of map files and textures and sound. So as long as they're zipped up and yeah, it's just going to be a drag and drop situation, really.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll open it up. I'll just check the folder now and just see, because now I'm curious. It shouldn't.
I think they're pretty much in the map folder. They're pretty much going to be called, you know, DM, MK, you know, 2 or D or whatever, and then the map name. And I think that's literally it.
I'll do a search for just MK. That should, like, hopefully narrow them down. Hopefully, or not. Maybe it won't. No. Where's Deadpool? Where are you?
I think you might have to do like a DM-MK, and then that might start bringing them up.
Yep. Yeah, okay, here they are. So, Courtyard, Gore's Leg, Palace Gates, the Pit, Warrior Shrine, Armory, Living Forest, Tower, Graveyard, and Dark Prison, and Deadpool, and MK3 Portal. So all of those maps come to a grand total of 87 megabyte. Fuck all, man. Right.
Yeah, that's nothing, dude.
Actually, you know what? I'll do it. You know, there's a video playing at the moment. It's long enough. So while that's running, I'll see if I can set this up now and send it through to you. So, actually, I'll make a folder. Actually, I'll just call it MK Maps. So, and then I'll drop that in there. Yeah, that's pretty tiny file size, man. Shit.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. I mean, yeah, you're right. I sort of hope that the sounds are baked and textures are baked into the map files alone. But then when it comes to finding the MK Gold character models, I mean, that might be, I don't know if it's all going to show up for you. You might have to type in, I don't know, MKD. You know, I don't know where the character models are stored, but
now, just, I don't know if you ever knew this, right? But if you say, for example, there is a capture the flag map, right? So like, you know, Hall of Giants or Lava Giant or, you know, Facing Worlds or whatever, right? If you copy that and paste it, you'll make a duplicate file, right? But then if you change the CTF to DM, right? It turns that map into, you'd now have a deathmatch version of that map.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
Yeah.
Is it that easy?
Yep. So, you know, so if you're like, oh, I really like that Facing Worlds map or whatever, that you can only access and capture the flag, or an assault map or something like that, you simply copy it and paste it, right, into the same folder. It'll just create a duplicate. And then obviously you remove like the, you know, the one at the end in brackets, and then you change the CTF or the, you know, or whatever it is, to DM instead of CTF dash, it's DM dash. And then when you go into deathmatch or team deathmatch, you'll actually have access to that map in a deathmatch situation, which is pretty fucking cool. So,
oh yeah.
All right, so I'm checking the music. Let's see where we're at with the music. So, if there's any, is there any MK music? Oh, yep, there is. Okay, all right, cool. So, I'm just setting up these subfolders exactly like as if it was in your main directory. So you should be able to just drop them in there, and then that's it. So this dude that created them has obviously been very nice in making it easy for,
yeah, gotcha.
you know, recognizing this stuff. So that's maps and that's music. What was prefabs? Nothing in that. Karma data, nothing in that, I don't think. No. Speech. Oh, hang on, sounds. Let's check sounds, just in case there's any like additional. Oh yeah, MK sounds. There we go. One file. Right.
Ah, brilliant. Okay.
Just one file. So. There we go. Copy that. What else we got? Speech. Anything in speech? No. Static meshes. Oh, here we go. Oh, yep. There's static meshes as well. You know what would be fucking cool, man? Is that when I start covering this shit, like he shows up again. You know what I mean? Like, you know, one day he's got like 5 kids and shit. And he's like, oh, I wonder if anyone, you know, I wonder if that stuff is out there, if anyone's talked about it, you know, because like, you know, isn't it fucking cool, man, that a dude who I've never met, you, right, on the other side of the globe, knew about this shit, right, and I'm the one that has the files, so, you know.
That's pretty bloody lucky, isn't it?
You know, like, that's fucking crazy, man, you know. Is there anything under system? I don't think there was. I think it was just...
I think it's just maps, characters, and textures, and sounds, maybe.
Oh, yeah, here we go, yep. So, I'm just trying to get everything I can, you know, so that way, like, nothing is missed out on. Yep, that looks... Yep, that's about right. Copy there. Textures, here we go. Is there anything in textures? Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh, that might be the characters. Oh, and there's some other stuff. Okay, fuck it. I'll just put all, like, anything MK related. Right. Anything MK related can go in there. Oh, yeah. There we go. You said the MK gold skins. Yeah, it's listing.
Yeah,
it's listing them.
Ah, gotcha.
Yep, it's listing some meshes and the MK gold stuff as well. Cool.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, hopefully it works.
Well, we'll find. I mean, it should work. It's gonna. You've got the actual files, and they work for you, so they should work. I mean, it wouldn't take long to download it and put it into my UT4 installation. So
there's animations as well. There we go. Which looks like it's for the actual MK characters. Nothing in cache, nothing in that, nothing in that, nothing in that, nothing in that. Done the maps already. Music's done. Sounds is done. Yeah. I think that's it, dude. So hang on. So I can zip it up.
Yeah. If you put it into a raw file, that should be good. I mean, I take it like you've made like a map folder, a sounds folder, a text, like all that.
Yep. So
awesome. Wicked.
So it'll just be what do I call it? MK maps.
Oh yeah, call it anything. That's fine.
And then when you open it up, obviously like you'll see like all the subfolders, and then you just obviously copy them into the main directory of UT. Now, can I send it to you on Discord? I can do that, can't I?
I mean, if it's under 100 meg, then yeah, you can. Provided that you've got Nitro, you should be able to. But if you don't, I mean,
it's 30 meg.
I'll tell you what, if I make 30 meg, that oh shit, that try over direct message. If it doesn't go, then we can upload it into a private text channel in the Discord, and I'll give you access to it.
Where do I go? Can I? Hang on, I'll see if I can just drag it in there.
I'll give you access to this channel.
Max file size is 8 megabyte.
Okay, hold on. I got you.
Somebody said Mediafire as well, so I may as well like.
Yeah. Squid Gamer said Mediafire. I mean, Dropbox is easy. All you got to do is make an account. But I'd say I've made a text channel in the Discord called MK Maps. You have access to it. try sending it in there because we have a boosted server, so you should be able to upload big files.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Where am I looking? Oh, yep. There we go.
So it's
Oh, yep.
got
Okay.
it. Try
Yep.
drag and drop him.
All right. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Haha. Is that working? Is it sending? No, I don't know.
If it's uploading, you see a progress bar and a raw file, then it should be doing it.
Hang on.
Let me just double check that we've got upload files. Yeah, files attach. Files attaching is on, so
Do I have to hit enter? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. God, I'm a dickhead. Alright, so media file, let's have a look. Because that's pretty tiny. Do I have to sign up? Yeah, I guess I do. Alright, there we go. There we go. I think it's sent.
Oh, nice. Okay, let me just check that. Oh, brilliant. 30 meg. I'll download it now. Like 6 seconds. Oh, easy. Oh, easy. We like that.
The good old days. It's good actually. The good old days of having those tiny files. So. Personal, download or share content, whatever. And backup, yeah, that'll do. I'll tick all the boxes. So, are you going to be able to check that now, like live?
Yeah. I can do. One sec.
Because if that works, that'd be fucking awesome, man. Oh, okay. Apparently, emails and news. Oh, eat my ass. Okay. No, cockhead. Shit. There we go.
Right, let me. I've grabbed that. So I'll. Oh, beautiful how you packaged that. Thank you very much.
So it literally should just dump like.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I'll go into my UTO-4 and throw it in there now. Right, here we go. Moment of truth. Ready? Drag and drop. Oh, beautiful. There you go. Straight in. Right. Okay. There we go. Launch UTO-4. Wherever I've got it, I've got it somewhere. Here we go. Hopefully that's not going to be too loud. We'll find out. Damn, UTO-4 takes a while to boot. Here we go. Right. Okay, right. Let's do a instant action deathmatch.
I wonder if it says the names, like the creator's name.
Oh, shit.
What?
Oh, okay. Ooh, weird. Okay, hold on. It's interesting. Hold on. This works in deathmatch, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right. How do we... Hold on. Let's try this. Because they've shown up, but... Hold on. That's interesting. They've shown up, but when I'm trying to launch them, it's... Because, I mean, I've got my copy of UTO-4 from Good Old Games.
Yep. Okay, yep.
I don't know, were there many like revision updates to UTO-4? Like, do you know what version of UTO-4 you have? Like,
let me see if it shows. I'll load it up.
because I would have thought UTO-4 is UTO-4, but for some reason, like,
it should
not
technically it should be like the latest version. Can you see servers when you go online? Like if you actually go into the internet part, for like join a game. Just trying to see if there's anywhere that says anything about version number. So.
Okay, I'm gonna try and go online now. I'll type in my name. Okay, okay, favorites LAN internet. So yeah, all the servers are showing up. I can see all the servers on the internet. For
Okay,
UTO-4.
cool. Yep. Okay, cool.
I mean, another way to do it would be to connect to you, and then it would download the files that it should do. But I don't know. That's just a bit tricky.
Let me see if
That's
there's
weird.
let me see if
weird
there's
though.
let me see if there's any other. I don't think I missed any files because I think he made it purposely so that it was easy to see what files were what. And I because there's nothing else because like this works oh shit, hang on. This works on my original install copy that I used to have, and then when I bought Unreal Tournament through Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, am I missing?
I wonder. I mean, it might be me. I might just have to reinstall UTO4. That's not hard to do. It would only take a
system.
Before I install it, just make sure that I've got these setup files. Luckily, I do. Right. Let's just start from square one and start fresh.
All right. So I think. Hang on. I have missed some files. I'm a bad person. So I'll have to resend it. So hang on. Because there was, yep, hang on. I'll just make sure. So I'll reset, oh, hang on, there we go, that's all there. Yep, nothing else. Nothing else in there. So I'll re-zip it up and then resend it. And then use that one and see if that makes a difference.
Gotcha. Okay. But I'll try to install this a clean.
So what? I'll end the stream.
Yeah, because
right.
we could go on all night, mate.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So anyway, so is there anything you want to say? Because I'm going to put a link to your channel in the description, and then from there people can find you that way. But is there anything that you wanted to add, and whatnot?
I think that's pretty great as it is, man. I mean, no, thank you for having me. That's been really awesome. Total blast from the past, and like I said, we're to close out. We're just a retro gaming community, super chill. We just want to make friends and meet like-minded people and play games. So if you guys are into that, then look us up. You can follow us on Twitter and Discord. That's mainly where we're active. But other than that, that's about it, really.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I really do appreciate that. And we will catch you next time. And of course, we've been talking about these MK maps. So as long as we can get this working, you should see in the next week or so some videos popping up about these maps and how to be able to download it and use them. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time. See ya.